Yo, the enemy's public, I gotta keep my eyes open. Pay attention, stop walking around like you blindfolded. This not the World Cup, but Nasir be kicking knowledge. This the type of information you can never learn in college. It's time to fight back, it's no more trying to play it cool. We got interviews, podcasts, and got the latest news. So sit back and relax, we about to get it started. Earth is a canvas, and guess who's the con artist? They brainwashing us, the system corrupted. You are now rocking with the enemy's public. You are now rocking with the enemy's public. I said you are now rocking with the enemy's public. Hey.
The once goal-driven, ambitious Sapphire turns to the street life after the sudden death of her big brother Dre. Dre's best friend Devontae tries to honor his homeboy's last request of looking out for his baby sister. A rebellious Sapphire makes it very difficult for Devontae to carry out his promise.
Peace. This is the enemy's public. I am Bro.Nasir. I think I'm going to this evening go down the rabbit hole for a little bit. Peace to my brother D. Allen Warren. Peace to my brother P. Moses. Respect to Kelly. Peace to my brother, Big Dog Philly OG. Thank you for coming and joining me this evening. And the question is, did he do it or not? Why settle if you're innocent? And we're going to deal with illicit behavior and entertainment. Now, a friend of mine since 1989 have been talking about what goes on in entertainment, the rituals that these people indulge in. Peace to my brother OG Green Machine, my brother Keith West. Salute to you. The rituals that they indulge in, and what some of these entertainers do to get in the entertainment business. It's a lot of talented people who have been exploited and outright robbed of their talents. And a lot of these, from children, their talent is drained out of them and they're thrown away. As a child, some of them are so talented, and by the time they're adults, they are so tired, and also tired looking. If you look at it like a Orlando Jones, who have been in the industry for decades, and he's still a young man. He looks tired and worn out. It's because of the exploitation. And some of these children were passed around from entertainer to entertainer, from executive to executive. But this evening, we're going to deal with one executive in particular. Did he do it or not? My sentiment is it's a whole lot of people that are coming out and they are being courageous on what happened to them while falling a victim to Diddy. A lot of people have fell a victim to him. If you name his roster of artists, who is the most successful person ever to be involved in Bad Boy's record? Now, I'm going to give the history real quick. Puffy used to work for Uptown. Uptown is a subsidy of Arista. Okay? When Arista wanted a urban label, they went to Andre Harrell. Andre Harrell, I remember in the 80s, Andre Harrell started Uptown Records. It's when they had that song, Uptown, Uptown. I remember seeing him at the Zanzibar in Newark when he first started that label. Andre Harrell used to be a rapper, an MC himself. He was with the group Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Andre Harrell was a part of that duo. And he started his own label. It was primarily hip hop at first. Then he got, Jodeci, Mary J. Blige, Al B. Sure, Christopher Williams, different people was on that roster. He started doing R&B. Puffy, at the time, was working at Uptown as an intern, but he was doing some production when he was going to Howard University. He was actually commuting from Howard U all the way to New York. So he said anyway, that's what he said. But he ended up getting too big for his britches. But at the time he had clientele because he had did good work as far as producing Mary J. Blige's album, doing some production. He did some production with R&B groups. But he wanted his own label. So he went to Clive Davis. Bad Boy had a parent label, and that was Arista. Bad Boy Arista. Clive Davis gave Diddy the money to start the label. And that's when he had the Big Mac. He came out with that single, the Big Mac. It was one side was Big and the other side was Craig Mack. And he gave, Biggie his advance, gave Craig Mack their advance, and he started working with different artists. Now, to answer the question to what I asked about 3 or 4 minutes ago, who is the most successful person to ever associate themselves with Bad Boy Records? That would be Diddy. That would be Diddy exclusively, because everybody who this man had on that label either got out in time, they got out in time to be able to move on as an artist, like a Faith Evans, like a Carl Thomas, like a Mary J. Blige. She wasn't on the label, but she was real close with Diddy. But if you look at some of the artists that this man have worked with, and you look at them now, after selling millions of records, millions total, sold millions of records. Carl Thomas 112, Big, Craig Mack, Faith Evans, Danny Kane, The Locks. He had a whole big roster of artists that under him, they wasn't successful. They were not successful. And they were able to get away from him. Yet, other artists that he's worked with, not necessarily on his label, but they were on his parent label, Arista, Usher. Usher, when he dropped, he probably was about 14, 15 years old. And allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly, because I don't know, but I believe what people say about this man. He was very inappropriate with children. Usher, he was very inappropriate with grown-ass men who allowed themselves to be compromised as a man for a demo deal, for any amount of money. You don't compromise your damn manhood. But some of these brothers, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to go there with Albie Shore. Albie Shore was out way before Diddy was even in existence as a producer. See, Diddy's background, Diddy used to be a dancer. He was a dancer. Him and Jermaine Dupri were dancers for Houdini, backup dancers for Houdini, and went on to become executives doing what they do to get their grease palms, where their palms greased, and other parts of them greased too, just to get a damn deal. Which I don't think any amount of money a man should compromise his manhood for. Yet, he got into some trouble years ago. He did a party. Something broke out at the party. Somebody was trampled over. Somebody, was trampled over, and somebody was killed. Trampled over. Was killed. Got a lot of trouble over that. But when he went to Clive Davis for that money, he compromised his manhood. Diddy did. He compromised his manhood. There's no secret of what you have to do to get that money, especially if it's in the tens of millions to get that money. And in order for somebody to break in the industry today, if they're going to be involved with Diddy, they're going to have to compromise themselves, male or female. Any female you see Diddy with is a beard to make him have the appearance of a masculine man. But everybody know how he swings. He swings like RuPaul. In all actuality, that's how he swings. There's no way a man can grab me from behind without getting his eyebrows knocked off his face. You can't walk up behind me and grab me from behind. I'll try my best to knock his eyebrow off his face for doing that. But you can see pictures of, I think it was Tom Ford behind him, and he's dancing, backing it up on a man. That is not subliminal. It's subliminal, but it's not subliminal, if you get my drift. That's how this man rocks. Now, I'm going to do a video presentation of some testimonials of people who fell a victim to Diddy. Now, this young lady, Cassie, I don't even know who she is. That's how far removed I'm from mainstream hip hop. The hip hop I listen to is somebody I'm already acquainted with or brothers in the community. That's it. I don't listen to a lot of them outside of the community or like a Rakim or Chris or PE. Other than that, I don't listen to this new stuff. I can't get with this new stuff. It disturbs me. Now, going to share my screen. We're going to go to the one who's been on his neck for the longest first. We all know who she is. She was the hook queen of the late 90s and in the 2000s, Jaguar Wright. Let me run this back because I was watching it earlier. Now, here we go. Hope they don't start their foolishness. Yeah, they're starting their foolishness.
Okay. Tell us why. Tell us why.
Because he's a sex trafficker. And he's using music and entertainment to sex traffic.
That's how he operates. He has people followed. He has people watched. He does all kinds of. He's a piece of shit.
Too much money.
I feel bad for the kids.
In her bombshell interview, where she called out several members of the Hollywood elite for their shady and occultic practices, Jaguar Wright revealed that Diddy is a trafficker for Hollywood elites, which kind of seems a bit too heavy to be entirely accurate. However, in light of the lawsuit Cassie, Diddy's ex, filed against Diddy, accusing him of saying and trafficking her, among other god-awful things, it seems like Jaguar Wright may have been onto something the rest of us were slow to catch on to. So, what did Jaguar Wright really say about Diddy? And what's the scoop on Cassie's allegations of Diddy in the lawsuit she filed? If you're curious about just how deep this whole Diddy BS runs, take a seat while we uncover all the dirty details.
But their father is the devil. He the fucking devil.
In her interview with Real Life Production, Jaguar Wright accused Diddy of trafficking for Hollywood elites, hosting strange parties where only SX and money change hands, and killing off anyone who attempted to expose him. Now, on any day, these are serious allegations to make against another person. But for a person as rich and powerful as Diddy, making statements like that is like putting a target on your back. But Jaguar Wright either doesn't care or isn't afraid of Diddy. And a good reason for that is the things she says about him. They're very likely true. Diddy has a long history of abusing his power and status to make life a living hell for practically everyone around him. And Jaguar Wright made sure to spill all the tea in that bombshell interview. She made some disturbing allegations against Diddy, where she accused him of using his power as the owner of Bad Boy Entertainment to harass his staff and upcoming artists artists into performing intimate acts with him just to feed his ego. She talked about how once, a female lawyer working with Bad Boy Entertainment confided in her about walking in on Christopher Williams performing fellatio on Diddy in exchange for a demo deal. According to Jaguar, the female lawyer...
It's crazy. Don't wake me, I'm dreaming. That's crazy.
Whose identity she concealed to protect her, was a brilliant young woman on her way to an even more brilliant career. She was a wonderful woman, and she was a brilliant attorney, and she thought she was signing up for the ride of her life. You know, she was going to be head of legal at Bad Boy Entertainment and be a female. Like, that was a big deal. Until she accidentally walked in her boss's office and caught him getting head from a movie star, which he said was done for nothing more than an exercise of power. She was so traumatized by that experience that she had to leave the company. But what that lawyer experienced pales compared to what Cassie went through at Diddy's hands, evidenced by the court documents from the lawsuit she filed against him on November 16th. Cassie accused Diddy of harassing, assaulting, and controlling her for over 10 years. And that's putting it mildly.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. I was in a dark place for a few years, you know what I'm saying? And I have to give a special thank you. Shout out, thank you. All that love. I gotta give a special thank you to the people that was really like there for me. Bishop T.D. Jakes.
Now he starts off with a outright puppet, T.D. Snakes. And it's crazy how they take a spirituality and try to morally manipulate someone and thinking they have a moral compass of any type of moral credibility. He has no moral credibility. Get up here and talk about God, thank God, and thinking clergymen. This is sickening.
My chief of staff, Christina Coram, KK, Lorianne Gibson, keeping me free.
See, that's the lawyer, that's the attorney, keeping him free because he and she knows what he's doing. And in confidentiality, she has to keep his secrets because it'd be unethical for her to come out as his attorney and reveal what he does. He hired her to protect him from the authorities and to basically be a secretary, the keeper of secrets.
Yeah, and also Cassie for holding me down in the dark times. Love.
In 2022, when Diddy...
It was more like he was holding her down, literally, among everybody that encountered his ass.
Received the Lifetime Achievement Award at the BET Awards, he made this heartfelt speech, giving shout-outs to everyone who was there for him over the years, including Cassie, whom he praised for holding him down. But the truth is, Cassie was allegedly the one being held under Diddy's violent behavior and sick fantasies. The court documents revealed that Cassie endured dark times with Diddy, where she was trapped in a cycle of abuse, violence, and trafficking. Some of the abusive things listed in the document that Diddy inflicted on Cassie, who is referred to as Ms. Ventura throughout the document, include Sayed Ms. Ventura in her own home after she tried to leave him, often punched, beat, kicked, and stomped on Ms. Ventura, resulting in bruises, burst lips, black eyes, and bleeding. Blew up a man's car after he learned that he was romantically interested in Ms. Ventura, forced Ms. Ventura to engage in sex with male workers, off and filming he encounters, ran out of his apartment with a firearm in pursuit of a rival industry executive whom he learned was nearby, demanded that Ms. Ventura to carry his firearm in her purse just to make her uncomfortable and demonstrate how dangerous he is, and introduced Ms. Ventura to a lifestyle of excessive alcohol and substance abuse, and required her to procure illicit prescriptions to satisfy his own addictions. It was so much dirt in there that the lawsuit had a trigger warning on the front page. Now, you know lawyers are one of those who have witnessed all types of nasty, downright dark stuff.
And that makes them the scum of the earth to defend this. I know it's their job, but they talk about ethics. They talk about law, yet they will still go knowingly and defend this type of behavior.
So, for them to feel triggered by Cassie's case, you know, it was a lot. Keep in mind that Cassie and Diddy first met in 2005 when she was 19 and he was 35. That was when she got signed to Bad Boy Records, eager to begin her music career and make a name for herself, only to find herself in a toxic, substance-fueled, predatory relationship with a man who was almost twice her age and several times more powerful than her. When Cassie initially started hearing rumors that Diddy might be interested in her, she actually expressed disgust at the idea of hooking up with someone that much older than her. This was back in 2006, when Diddy invited Cassie to perform his track Come to Me with him at the MTV Europe Music Awards in Copenhagen, Denmark.
That's how he gets you. That's how he got her, with something that she loved and aspired to do. That's how he got her. That's how he get all the people. He exploit their talent and exploit them as a person. They end up being abused by him, then thrown back out. Just thrown back out. If you look at some of the artists are gone, dead, and then some of the artists are just brought to ruins. And if you were someone unmarketable, didn't really have no talent, your talent was less than marginal or mediocre, you really couldn't go nowhere else. They had to sit there and put up with what this man put them through.
However, Diddy allegedly made sure he inserted himself into Cassie's life by playing a father figure role to her, inviting himself to her personal space like her 21st birthday party, and at one point reprimanding her for staying out late while clubbing with her friends. Diddy also allegedly started drugging Cassie by 2007. And as a young artist trying to break out in the music industry, Cassie reportedly couldn't refuse Diddy's demands. The court documents also narrate how Diddy exerted influence over Cassie's career by offering her irresistible opportunities to make it big in the industry and asking for obedience and loyalty in return. Obedience and loyalty here, of course, means allowing Diddy complete control over her private and professional life and indulging every one of his whims and caprices.
In all actuality, Kelly, he's a huge weapon of mass distraction. Those artists who have talent, who wants to break out in the music industry, I'm going to say it like this. In totality, he's just a mere example of, I'm going to make a word up, piece of shitness in the industry. He's just a mere example of that. But it goes deeper than that, because what he's doing to people, it was done to him too. Not making an excuse for him, because he needs more than a talking to. And I hope his time is up. I hope his time is up. See, he's prancing around here acting like he's untouchable and being a tool and serving to his own people detriment who has talent. When they're done with his stupid ass, they're going to break him.
According to court documents, people around Cassie and Diddy often witnessed Diddy's violence towards her, but nobody could speak up because they were all too afraid of Diddy.
He saw this white woman. It was bottles on bottles on bottles around. It was lit. Puff jumped out. Me and Cassie sat next to each other. My wife right here, Cassie right here. The nigga jumped off the bar, came over and said, yo, Cassie, tomorrow, I want you to shave the side of your head. And I was like,
It brings to mind this video where an associate of Diddy was narrating how Cassie started wearing this hairstyle. At the time, it seemed like Cassie was trying out this new, edgy style that was maybe a little out of character for her, but was ultimately a serve. So all is well. Now we know that the reason why Cassie wore that hairstyle was that Diddy saw it on another woman and immediately thought, I have to make Cassie do this. How Cassie responded shows she was under heavy control and manipulation by Diddy. I mean, nobody's boyfriend randomly tells them to shave off their gorgeous hair, and then they respond with, what boyfriend wants, boyfriend gets. So, it tells us how much Diddy had manipulated and gaslighted her into believing she had to obey all his demands. We see another example of how Cassie was manipulated into carrying out every wish Diddy could think of in another section of the court documents that discloses how Diddy started trafficking Cassie. Diddy allegedly began asking Cassie to participate in an act he called voyeurism that involved her performing certain acts with other men in Diddy's presence, which Diddy said would turn him on if he saw her with another D. The first time, Mr. Combs hired a man and brought the man to his home in Los Angeles. The man, Mr. Combs, and Ms. Ventura wore masquerade masks and ingested drugs. Mr. Combs directed...
That's that same thing. If any of us who watched the movie Eyes Wide Shut, it's the same thing that was going on in that movie when it was wearing the masquerade mask and doing all types of illicit behavior and sex acts at a mansion party.
Did Ms. Ventura to perform certain acts with this man while Mr. Combs watched them. Off while he directed Ms. Ventura and the man to do specific acts. Despite Cassie's objections, Diddy allegedly started arranging these meetings and calling them freak-offs or FOs. He would randomly call Cassie and ask her for an FO, leaving the arrangement of the location and the hiring of male actors to Cassie. Sometimes, according to the court documents, Diddy asked for these FOs as often as every week. During these FOs, all the participants, including Diddy and Cassie, would be highly intoxicated. Mr. Combs always supplied Ms. Ventura and the male actors with copious amounts of drugs before and during the FOs. Sometimes, Diddy would allegedly get so intoxicated that he would hit Cassie in the presence of the male actors. The worst part was that despite Cassie deleting any video or picture evidence of these FOs, Diddy allegedly insisted that she kept them for his pleasure.
I know, check this out, on the up and up, the nigga Puff, like he called, we should kick it on telephone and shit, after the made shit.
Right.
And be like, matter of fact, they sent me the girl pictures, like pictures of this girl, like, not the shit that y'all saw. Worse, way worse.
Wow. Oh, you kidding me up?
Like penetration pictures and
nah, come on, man. Come on, Fifth.
all that. And I didn't even, I said, yo, you girl, like, you really, like, you like her like that? And he was like, yeah, that's my girl. I'm like, all right, I'm going to send you something. You look at it, you call me back.
Oh,
I sent him the photos, the pictures and everything. Back and was like, yo, thanks, man. Yo, I really appreciate that. Yo, will you? And I said, you know, like, because they know, like, if something crazy is going on, if they send it to me, I'll make sure I get out there. Like, as far as this video.com is concerned.
Yeah, yep.
And those other properties. So they sent it to me. But, you know, I really kind of, like, those photographs was not happening because of Cassie. I felt like they was happening because of Puffy.
Right. Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because when a girl moves from a man and she upgrades, niggas be insecure, you know what I'm saying? They start feeling some kind of way, especially like whoever the guy was she was with in the photos versus where Puffy's at. He ain't no spouse, nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he's been able to take advantage of all the suffering.
This explains how 50 Cent came into possession of some explicit pictures and videos of Cassie in 2010. 50 allegedly received these pictures of Cassie being penetrated by guys from random men, and he sent them to Diddy. When Diddy received the photos, he expressed that he had no problems with them.
Because Diddy probably already knew about the photos, and he probably sanctioned the whole damn thing. That's why it didn't surprise him or upset him.
And this made 50 believe Diddy already knew about them, and Cassie was doing it because of Diddy. So 50 is saying that some random men sent him pictures of Cassie. He thought it was messed up and sent Diddy the pics to let him know what was up. Diddy wasn't bothered by it, which made 50 think Cassie was doing it because of Diddy, and the other men are laughing like buffoons. Another person said, Diddy is nasty. So basically, he planted stuff around to blackmail her and potentially even traffic her to other men in the industry.
Now, that's what they do. I heard testimony of other artists that said that they will actually drug you, put you in a compromising position with other men as a man, and then blackmail you into doing whatever they want you to do. And I don't put this past this dude doing this to this young lady.
Industry. He knew damn well he sent those photos. What does a young girl like Cassie look like sleeping with these dirty old men? He is disgusting. Now, 50 Cent has always had beef with Diddy because he sees Diddy as a nasty, power-grabbing narcissist. 50 has called Diddy out on his behavior several times for sacrificing others to get ahead in the music industry. Despite Diddy and Biggie being close associates, Diddy did not want Biggie outshining him, so he had to act fast and nip it in the bud. Still, Diddy continued to profit off Biggie's legacy for decades in the name of honoring his fallen.
I can definitely believe that, because you can read from the book of Night. Open up the book of Night, where it says, anyone who don't want your executive producer all on the records, all on the videos, dancing, come to death row. That's from the book of Night.
Mate. It reached a point when 50 had just had enough of Diddy's pretentiousness regarding Biggie. After yet another release of a track sampling Biggie's sound, 50 Cent called Diddy out, saying, "This is just getting disrespectful. This song doesn't really remind me of Biggie in any way, except for having the puffy background dancing and ad-libs intro that almost destroy a good song." While we can't verify if Diddy actually ordered the hit that took Biggie out, it does seem rather strange that someone as close to Diddy as his bodyguard would come out to say such horrible things about him if those things weren't true. So, Diddy doing all that after allegedly having a hand in Biggie's death is the height of manipulation. And if it seems like Uncle Ron is just a disgruntled former employee looking for clout, then wait till you hear what Jaguar Wright had to say about Diddy sacrificing others.
I was thinking to myself the other day, Uptown Records started with 5 people. Andre Harrell, I'll Be Sure, Heavy D, and Puffy. And Kim was the longest working employee because she was there from the very beginning. She was Andre's personal assistant.
Yeah.
Kim is dead. Heavy D is dead. Andre Harrell is dead. The only 2 left are Puffy and Al almost died. Isn't that interesting?
It was really strange how Heavy D died. When he was obese, I would think he had a better chance of dying then. After the man lose weight and get in shape, he dies. And then after Kim Porter is about to put a tell-all book, as a healthy woman, she ends up dying.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
Heavy D was found dead, face down in the...
According to Jaguar Wright, it is not a coincidence that everyone who started Uptown Records with Diddy somehow ended up dead or almost dead under very mysterious circumstances. She mentioned Al B. Sure, Heavy D, Andre Harrell, and Kim Porter, all of whom started Uptown Records with Diddy, and all of whom, except Al B. Sure, are now dead. And even crazier is the fact that, according to Jaguar Wright, these people all died when they were in the middle of writing a tell-all book about their lives and careers, which would, of course, include Diddy. So they either slipped into a coma and died, or, in the case of Kim Porter, who was also Diddy's ex, caught a bug and died from pneumonia. Meanwhile, initial police records allegedly claimed that her death was a homicide and that her autopsy revealed toxins in her body. Many people believe Diddy outright killed Kim Porter because he had allegedly ordered her casket weeks before she even passed away. Also, her suddenly catching a bug and dying from pneumonia is sus because at least her...
In order for her to die, catching a bug and dying from pneumonia, that means someone had to give her something to weaken her immune system to not be able to fight off the pneumonia. A healthy woman all of a sudden dies after a casket was purchased for her. I'm not understanding. Well, I'm not going to say that they're not investigating, but if they're not investigating, it's some incompetent investigators in these departments. And whatever municipality these things happen at.
Her kids and close friends would have known she had pneumonia before it got so bad that she had to die. One person said, "I truly believe P. Diddy offed that lady. It's so sad because that's the mother of his sons, man. Like, come on." Another said, "I never believed for 1 second Kim had pneumonia and died from it. She was a model for over 20 years. There's no way she didn't know her body." The amount of deviousness and cold-heartedness it takes to plan your baby mama's death for months is genuinely unbelievable. But if Diddy could do that, it explains why Cassie could not escape from him for 10 years. According to the court documents, whenever Cassie tried to leave, Diddy would have his network trace her and lure her back. He allegedly...
Big fact, P. Moses. They didn't mention the fact that Jamie Foxx was starting to talk about those parties that he attended of Diddy's. When he started talking about those parties that he was attending, all of a sudden, he's not that young anymore, but the man works out and takes care of himself and eats healthy. How did he end up in the condition that he was in? You know, they have hitmen. A hitman doesn't necessarily mean he's going to shoot you. They could poison your food, your water, and just outright hit you with a syringe. They could medically assassinate you.
Allegedly once bought the entire security footage of a hotel where he held one of his FOs with Cassie and beat her up. Even when she did manage to start a little romance with Kid Cudi, Diddy allegedly got so jealous that he blew up Kid Cudi's car. I don't know. But it seems like Diddy wouldn't have objected to Kid Cudi accidentally being in the car at the time he blew it up so he could take out his op in a tidy little accident. But Diddy's abuse and manipulation did not stop at the women in his life. It also extended to the men.
If Bishop Jakes was at a Diddy party, there could only be two reasons: money or sex. That's all that happens at Diddy parties. Money.
Yup. Diddy or Diddy not. And if TD Jakes was there, he was there for a reason. And I cannot say that it was for reasons other than something illicit. What is he doing at a party like that?
Money and sex. I hope it was for money.
According to Jaguar Wright, Diddy frequently hosts.
I doubt that it was for money. TD Jakes has money. He has money. TD Jakes is worth tens of millions. He don't need Diddy's money. He was there for another reason.
Gay parties where young men in the industry are invited and abused in exchange for money and fame. One such example is the young artist that a female lawyer found performing oral sex on Diddy in his office, which Jaguar Wright disclosed in her interview. She also claimed that at gay parties, other male members of the Hollywood elite, like Will Smith, would attend and engage in different sexual acts with other men. Diddy himself has admitted to introducing artists like Usher to the adult lifestyle when they were still minors. Also, remember,
if he admitted that, that's when they should have arrested him, because it's child abuse and it's contributing to a delinquency of a minor. He should have been arrested then.
when Diddy invited Fabulous to one of his parties, Fabulous later came out to say the party, which had only men in attendance, was so erotically charged that he had to lie that he was going to the bathroom just to get out of there. Seeing everything Jaguar Wright said about Diddy play out in real time makes fans believe Diddy really did everything, or at least most of what he has been accused of. One fan said, listening to this again after hearing that Cassie is filing a lawsuit against Diddy for SA and abuse and all types of other things. Jaguar Wright was speaking the truth.
Now, to all of the family in the chat, if you are innocent, can you please put a yes or no in the chat? If you are innocent, would you pay someone off? Would you give someone a dime if you were innocent? Yes or no?
With everything coming out about Diddy in the last few months, some believe karma has finally gotten to him and he will finally go down for his crimes. I am excited for his downfall. I need to see him get something similar like R. Kelly. Karma, hurry the F up, honey. I'm waiting. Well, I'm surprised he evaded the Me Too movement, but Diddy has evaded his karma for too long and it's all hitting him at once now. Justice for Cassie. Hell, justice for Kim Porter too. No telling the secret she died with. However, some also believe that what we think we know about Diddy does not even begin to scratch the surface of what he has done behind the scenes. And you know what? That's not even an outrageous thought. Earlier this year, Diddy started giving all his Bad Boy Records artists their music rights back and paying off whoever needed to be paid off. And check this.
Why? Because I think, you see that name behind Diddy? Do you see that name behind Diddy? That's who gave him that bad boy startup money, Clive Davis. The same man who gave the party that Whitney Houston was supposed to be attending, and they found her dead, Clive Davis. Clive Davis had Arista Records, and then he started J Records. J Records had Usher, Whitney Houston, and notably Luther Vandross. He had all those artists. Clive Davis been in the business for a long time, and he and Quincy Jones are tight. When I say tight, they're connected, if you catch my drift.
Check this out. As damning as Cassie's civil lawsuit is, you would expect that Diddy would countersue her for defamation or something like that. Nope. Instead, barely 24 hours after she filed the lawsuit, Diddy and his lawyers agreed to settle out of court. The amount of settlement money both parties agreed to is unknown, but you can bet you're behind it's a hefty sum. Rumors have it that Cassie previously declined a $30 million offer from Diddy to not disclose anything about their relationship or take him to court. So, who knows how much worse it would have been if the case had gone to court. Fans on X seem to agree with this, saying, "I just know that Cassie's settlement amount was simply extraordinary. Kudos to Cassie. Diddy went from saying she was trying to extort him to settling in 24 hours. He didn't just do what she said, he's done so much more. Settlement in 24 hours proves that Diddy is guilty by admission of guilt. It's all true, and he didn't want more tea out."
His attorney said Diddy settling is not an admission of guilt. Why would you give someone that much money being innocent? Diddy would not spend that kind of money litigating, fighting this case if he was innocent. He would not spend, I believe it was $30 million. He would not spend that kind of money litigating the case. He's giving out hush money. He's going around trying to get people on his side, get his former artists on his side by giving them their masters, giving them their catalogs, because he wants people, he feels them getting close, put it that way. And when they come and question certain artists, come on, now some of these songs have ran their courts and they exhausted their royalties, giving it to them now when the songs are old, unless somebody want to use a song in a movie or a commercial, or you get a little bit of residuals from somebody playing it on the radio. They're really not making no money from the songs. A lot of these songs that ran their course and exhausted themselves, and especially if the songs wasn't a hit, to give somebody a catalog of some songs that didn't hit, it's hush money.
That amount of power to shell out a settlement and continue being dangerous is insane. But do y'all make out of all this? Do you agree with Jaguar's allegations against Diddy that he is a trafficker for Hollywood?
And I'm going to move on where she says Cassie knows what Diddy's was doing, and Cassie knows what happened to
Cassie,
Porter.
I will advocate for you. Because, see, I know something that a lot of people don't know. I know that you and Kim Porter had a sit down right before she left us.
We decided to do the book because I'm not a rapper, obviously, or anything like that. But I've been in the business and been around the business.
Some of the things in the book cover Diddy's gay relationships, footage of those encounters, the men he slept with, STDs, Diddy giving Usher an STD, and the explosive encounter between Diddy and Usher's mom, Mary J. Blige being pregnant by Diddy, and of course, she had an AB, the beatings Kim took, pushing him down the steps in 2007, and him breaking his foot.
Jaguar Wright has broken her silence on Diddy settling his lawsuit with Cassie, and she claims Cassie knows what Diddy did to his ex, Kim Porter, when she tried to expose him. For years now, rumors have been swirling that Diddy had Kim Porter eliminated because she was planning to write a tell-all book. And several people who worked for Diddy claimed that they witnessed Diddy putting his hands on Kim.
When they were at home at Kim's house on 110th Street, he wanted to, put his hands on her in the wrong way.
And then Jaguar Wright directly accused Diddy of heinous crimes, including allegedly poisoning Kim Porter. And isn't it interesting how Diddy never tried to sue Jaguar for defamation? Well, Jaguar's back, and she revealed in a new interview that Kim warned Cassie about Diddy shortly before she died, and that Cassie knows exactly why Kim is no longer with us. So could Cassie's lawsuit lead to an investigation into Kim Porter's death? And what exactly did Kim tell Cassie in their last conversation?
And I know Kim had some very good advice to give you, and I believe that this is...
If they would have litigated Diddy and Cassie, and they would have questioned her, a lot of this would have came out, and it would have been real incriminating against Diddy. So he gave her some hush money. I don't know if she's going to keep her mouth shut. And not only that, it's other people who are coming out saying what he did to them. So unless he got that kind of money just to keep giving people to be quiet, or he may move in desperation and start paying less money to get rid of people.
That's why things are happening as they're happening now.
Just 24 hours after Cassie filed an explosive lawsuit against Diddy, accusing him of DV, SA, and trafficking, they settled the suit for an undisclosed amount. However, this just made Diddy look even more guilty because after Cassie filed, Diddy's lawyer publicly accused her of trying to blackmail Diddy. And yet, just hours later, Diddy suddenly decided to pay up. See, Diddy literally never pays anyone. It took him over 30 years to pay his former artist.
Exactly. He don't pay anyone, including his artist. So for him to give her that money, he's guilty.
So there's definitely more here than meets the eye. He didn't put any effort to clear his name, and instead, he immediately put a lid on Cassie's lawsuit, which can only mean one thing. There has to be more that he's hiding. Now, something that a lot of people were confused about is why Cassie agreed to settle. Well, she didn't have any other option. She filed a civil lawsuit, which means settlement was the only possible outcome.
Exactly. People are going at her when she filed a civil lawsuit. The only way you could litigate a civil lawsuit is money is involved. But if it was criminal, then she can't settle then. She wouldn't be able to settle then. He wouldn't either. They would have to litigate.
Only the government, aka a prosecutor, can file cases in criminal court, so it's up to them to open a criminal investigation against Diddy. But this was actually a really smart move on Cassie's part because her lawyers used trafficking as the foundation of her lawsuit, which means they left the door wide open for criminal and federal charges to be brought.
Exactly. And there's no stipulation that she can't go after him in a criminal court. Hopefully, he's on his way down for all the things he did to people, hopefully.
Brought against Diddy. It was also smart that Cassie refused to settle privately with Diddy before filing a lawsuit, because by making it public, she protected herself and her family. Plus, for a high-profile lawyer to have even touched this case means Cassie's evidence was real and compelling. Now, speaking of evidence, many things are starting to surface online.
See, that's the best thing she could have done, was bring it out public. So if something happened to her, they know it's in retaliation. To hide that and to go telling her friends, no, she did right by bringing it out in public.
Including this video of Cassie curled up on the floor under a blanket while Diddy taunts her.
What you gotta say now? You ain't got shit to say when you put your girl on the snap.
Also, Cassie's old selfie recently resurfaced, showing her with a busted lip and trauma to her head. Cassie shared this photo in 2014 during a trip to Dubai with Diddy, and at that time, blogs reported she had an accident while riding an ATV. But this isn't what her face would look like after an ATV accident. Instead, it looks like one of the incidents she describes in her lawsuit. Now, a lot of people are saying this story is scarily similar to what happened to Kim Porter, Diddy's ex-girlfriend who died under mysterious circumstances in 2018. To give you some context, Diddy and Kim dated on and off from 1994 to 2007, and during one of their splits, Kim started seeing Shakir Stewart, who worked at Def Jam. Diddy reportedly became furious after learning about Kim and Shakir, which led to a heated argument during which Kim sustained a broken nose. Most of the reports about this incident have been scrubbed from the internet. However, there is one article published in 2005 that references the altercation, saying that Kim was left with a broken nose after the couple argued on Combs' yacht in Saint-Tropez. The article states that Combs flew in a specialist plastic surgeon from Geneva after the accident, and that Porter has since claimed that she hurt her face after she banged her nose on the table. But it gets even more disturbing from here. On November 1st, 2008, Shakir Stewart was found dead in his Atlanta home, having suffered a gunshot wound. According to the official ruling, he took his own life. However, it didn't take long before rumors started circulating there was foul play involved. People started pointing fingers at Diddy, and one source confirmed to Media Takeout that Diddy had previously beaten up Shakir badly. The source said Kim was seeing Shakir and Diddy found out and he went ape. He tracked Shakir down to his hotel. Then Diddy went up there without security and beat him to a bloody pulp. Now, as for...
He probably was upset because, you know, he went with her solo and didn't involve him. You know, Diddy get down like that. Peace to my brother, Executive Sessions. Salute to you, good brother.
For Kim, she passed away on November 15th, 2018, supposedly from complications of pneumonia. However, she was just 47 years old, and there's no evidence she had any underlying conditions.
A shocked and devastated Diddy spotted at the home where his ex suddenly and mysteriously died. Her good friend Kimora Lee Simmons appearing inconsolable at the house, 47-year-old Porter's body found after a desperate call to 911.
EMS 14 respond with engine 76 on scene of the cardiac arrest.
Of course, many people thought this was highly suspicious, and one of them was Kim's ex-husband, Al B. Schur. In July 2020, Al shared a since-deleted video of himself and wrote, "I just found this footage from the morning I learned of Kim Porter's murder and how it ripped the soul from my physical body. I do know very clearly that Kimberly didn't just check out all of a sudden over pneumonia." Al B. also added the hashtag, "Don't let the love songs fool you," seemingly referencing Diddy's tributes to Kim. And then in November 2021, Al B. posted a throwback photo with Kim and claimed she told him she was running and he advised her to call the FBI. Al B. also added in the comments, "You would never believe what she went through." And get this, just months after he posted this, Al B. was hospitalized with multiple organ failure and spent 2 months in a coma. He managed to pull through. However, he's been very silent since then and stopped mentioning Kim in public. However, Jaguar Wright is not staying silent, and back in December, she told Real Life Productions that Kim's initial autopsy showed she was poisoned.
Kim died from pneumonia, but there's the first coroner's report that said that she died. It was ruled a homicide, and they found toxins in her body to prove that she had been poisoned. You know,
if it was ruled a homicide and then all of a sudden the ruling changed, that means somebody took a payoff. That means all of them are corrupt to the core, and they have a damn price.
they have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia-like symptoms.
Jaguar also claimed that all these people who dealt with Diddy and then died or got sick were
Exactly, Voodoo Child. Exactly.
planning to release tell-all books and documentaries.
Andre was writing a book right before he died. Heavy D was working on a book before he died. Kim Porter was working on a book before she died. And Al B. Schur was working on the documentary of his life. And then he goes into a coma.
Jaguar is now speaking out again, and in a new interview with Storm Monroe, she offered her support to Cassie and claimed that Cassie knows what happened to Kim because Kim warned her about Diddy before she died.
I will advocate for you. Because, see, I know something.
Now we're going to go to Kim Porter's best friend, Kimora Lee Simmons.
I was a very young, probably too young bride. So I had these kids very early.
Sean Diddy Combs allegedly threatened to hit Kimora Lee Simmons, who was pregnant at the time.
They told me they couldn't go after Puff, but they could go after Russell Simmons. Those people knew that Russell Simmons was on the chopping block and something was going on.
Kimora Lee Simmons has broken her silence on growing allegations about Diddy being involved in trafficking alongside other high-profile industry men, and she allegedly believes her ex-husband, Russell Simmons, is one of them. In 2017, multiple...
That's why Russell Simmons moved out of the United States to evade prosecution for his illicit behavior and sexual digressions against females.
Multiple women accused Russell of SA, with the youngest alleged victim being just 17. And then months later, Russell moved to Indonesia, a country that doesn't have any extradition treaty with the US.
Exactly. He moved to a country where he will have asylum. There's no extradition from the country he moved in back to the United States. So he moved to wherever he moved to evade prosecution.
Now, as you all know by now, Diddy's ex, Cassie, accused Diddy of trafficking SA and DV in a bombshell lawsuit, which he then settled in record time, probably to avoid the discovery phase in trial. So after Cassie's story blew up, a lot of people pointed out that it sounded very similar to what Kimora Lee went through with Russell Simmons. See, Russell was 35 when he met Kimora, who was 15 or 16, while Diddy was 37 when he allegedly started grooming 19-year-old Cassie.
That's crazy.
Kimora also accused Russell earlier this year of mistreating her and their two daughters, and one of the daughters provided receipts to show Russell as a dangerous and violent man. And then when you add all this to the fact that Kimora was a close friend of Diddy's late girlfriend, Kim Porter, it really makes you wonder how deep this rabbit hole goes. So now that Kimora is speaking out on Cassie's lawsuit, will this get the ball rolling to expose all these alleged traffickers in the music industry? And could this also lead to Kim Porter's case being reopened? Let's break it down.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Russell. We love you.
Diddy may have settled the lawsuit with Cassie, but this is definitely not the end, because Cassie opened a can of worms, and by making her story public, she encouraged other people to speak out against Diddy's alleged crimes. One of these people is Kimora Lee, who just broke her silence on Cassie's lawsuit and hinted that Diddy is finally getting the karma he deserves. One day after Cassie filed a lawsuit against Diddy, alleging years of DV, SA, and trafficking, Kimora shared a story with the message, "As you sow, so shall you reap." Meanwhile, an old interview with Kimora resurfaced where she spoke about how Diddy once threatened to kill her while she was pregnant. Back in 2004, Kimora talked about this incident with the New York Magazine, and interestingly, she mentioned her then-husband, Russell Simmons, suggesting that Diddy copied Russell in everything. The article states, there was a nasty cloudburst when Kimora said something to Combs, and he threatened to hit her. And then Kimora added, and I was pregnant, the moron. The article goes on to say that Diddy got down on his knees in public to apologize, and Kimora said, I appreciate knowing that everything he does is emulating my husband. Now, Diddy and Russell were very close for years, and Russell was a regular at Diddy's infamous parties. Diddy and Russell also reportedly used to vacation together back when Kim Porter was still alive. But
Vacationing together? Sort of strange.
what's really disturbing are the similarities between Russell's relationship with Kimora and Diddy with Cassie. Kimora was just 15 or 16 when she met 35-year-old Russell, and they started dating shortly after. Russell later claimed that they didn't begin dating until Kimora turned 18, and back in 2020, he wrote this on Instagram. She was legal at 17, but she turned 18 that May. Her mother and her manager, Bethan Hardison, approved, supported, and rushed us. We really didn't need a push. But as many fans pointed out, nothing Russell says makes him look innocent, because a 35-year-old man dating an 18-year-old girl may be legal, but it's still predatory. Anyway,
That's morally incorrect. That's morally wrong. Regardless if she's 18, it's morally wrong.
Russell and Kimora got married in 1998, and they share two daughters, Ming Lee and Aoki Lee. However, Kimora and Russell's marriage was rocky from the start due to Russell's controlling behavior and anger outbursts. In 2008, Kimora filed for divorce, but that's when the real nightmare started, and Russell allegedly began harassing and threatening her and their daughters. After she initially tried to keep this away from the public to protect her daughters, Kimora reached a boiling point earlier this year and went on Instagram Live to expose Russell for mistreating them for years.
He's even said things to them like, why did you go to college? You shouldn't have gone to college. You wasted that money. You could have saved it. While I'm up here trying to hustle the kids over the finish line. But I think it comes a time when you guys have to ask yourself, why are these women, young women, not supportive or not really trying to hear that? Or what have they gone through? What have they seen that they, that has turned them off or that has put a bad taste in their mouth? We've seen a lot lately over the years.
Kimora revealed that despite having zero involvement in their daughters' lives, Russell continued to post photos of the girls on social media, trying to convince the public he's a good dad.
This person has not been to any events, did not come to graduation, no. he wasn't particularly wanted, but no one stopped you. You know,
Russell Simmons is not coming back to the United States because he's afraid they are going to get him at the airport.
Hasn't sent a flower or a gift or a kind word.
By the way, doesn't this remind you of the way Diddy always talks about how much he loved Kim Porter? Whenever someone goes out of their way to shove love and positivity in everyone's face, 9 times out of 10, they're covering up something. But it gets worse. Kimora later shared a series of stories explaining why she decided to expose Russell, and she claimed that he threatened to unalive her kids. One of Kimora's daughters, Aoki, later confirmed all this and claimed she had evidence of Russell harassing them.
And if he says one thing and disagrees with me, I will post it all because he does it. I have videos of him saying awful things that no one should have to hear about anyone they know, much less their mother. He has called me names. He has called us all house of all you. He has called us terrible things. All because I wouldn't take his side.
Now, another interesting thing Kimora mentioned in her live is that Russell was broke and she supported him for years.
I have records and evidence of this where he's told the kids in writing, we have it, text messages, I'm broke, I this, I that, I can't, go get it from your mom. Now, meanwhile, I have been financially carrying this person probably for the last at least 10 years, myself and my ex-husband. Again, this is all proven with receipts. So if whatever, somebody doesn't like what I'm saying, we can talk about it. We can come, we can open up our receipts. I love it. I love receipts.
And this could explain why Russell fled to Bali after multiple women came forward in 2017 accusing him of SA. He knew he didn't have the money or connections to fight this in court. Just months after SA allegations surfaced, Russell sold his properties in the US, moved to Bali, and reinvented himself as a yoga teacher. And if you look at his Instagram, he now constantly shares posts about love and spirituality. Again, doesn't this remind you of someone?
Yes.
Love, I changed my name to Sean Love Combs. I'm serious about love, y'all. I'm all in on love. I decided I'm just going to be love all the way.
Diddy, however, has different kinds of money, and sadly, we've seen time and time again how these ultra-rich and powerful people get away with doing the worst types of crimes. By the way, this is also something that Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, mentioned a few years ago, when he said that he tried to pitch a book about Diddy, Russell, and other shady industry men, and he was told they...
Yeah, Gene, it's good that you didn't attempt to do that. I know you are a retired police officer, former bodyguard, but they have their ways of doing things in this industry as hitmen.
They could go after Russell, but not Diddy. Oh, and Gene also mentioned something about Diddy and Jay-Z covering up for Russell.
People was disgusted on how Jay-Z came and Puff is coming out for Russell Simmons. They told me they couldn't go after Puff, but they could go after Russell Simmons. Those people knew that Russell Simmons was on a chopping block and something was going on.
Fans are now urging Kimora to reveal everything she knows about Diddy and Russell, and they're speculating these trafficking allegations go all the way to the top in Hollywood. One fan said, the way it was described in the lawsuit about Diddy filming Cassie on multiple devices, adjusting the candles, and wearing masks while she was SA'd, sounds like some called ritual-ish. I think he was filming to show...
It's definitely occultic and wicked. This industry is it's not about the talent. They exploit the people under the guise of putting them out there as artists. It's not about the talent because there's a lot of talented artists out here. For some reason, they don't pop. And that reason is they're not willing to play this game or be involved in. They don't take the compromising positions, and they don't take, what word should I use? They don't take the bait, that check wagging in their face, in a pen in the person's hands. They don't take that bait because a lot of times they'll have that check and it's more money than some of them ever seen. and they'll sign a check. They'll sign for that check. They want that money.
Show other rich elites. And another person added, something else will come out about Diddy by March.
Now we're going to go to Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber reveals how Diddy molested him. In the world of celebrity culture, rumors and allegations often swirl around the lives of the rich and famous. In recent years, one of the most shocking and disturbing sets of allegations has revolved around music mogul Sean Diddy Combs and pop sensation Justin Bieber. The claims, which include drug use, inappropriate behavior, and even molestation, have ignited a firestorm of controversy and raised questions about the dark side of fame and mentorship.
Salute to my brother Voodoo Child. Welcome to the channel, brother. Again, you know you're home here. Peace, good brother. Do a mic check.
Mic check, mic check. You hear me?
Loud and clear, brother. You want to tap in before I continue?
Well, I just want to say this, man. Just like with the R. Kelly and all these other cats, if they get Diddy and they get all the rest of these people, which I hope they do. I think the parents need to be right there with it too, bro. They don't need to get out as victims, because people was dropping their kids off and having no supervision. I'm a parent who don't play that. If my child is there, I'm there. If my child has become famous right now, I'm quitting my job, and I'm there. There's no happiness. There's no trust in you with my children.
Yes, sir.
So I think the parents need to be there too, because everybody is failing to realize that they're not out there kidnapping these people. These people are being drawn in by their greed for wealth. So, I mean, to me, when you see things like this, 50% of the blame needs to go to the parents too. They don't need to get off. They don't be around here talking about they forgot, because guess what? If we let them off, then there's just more parents that are going to just argue that situation when they offer their kids to these beast mode situations.
You are absolutely correct, brother. I agree, because a lot of these parents are whoring their children.
Exactly.
That's what they're doing to their children.
They're the brokers.
Exactly. And I mean, come on. If you are a mother or father and your child is working in a studio, you are supposed to be, or whatever your child is doing. If your child have a show, you're supposed to be there. Your child's doing studio time, you're supposed to be there. Whatever, I don't care what the executives say or what the person who's mentoring, people don't understand what that word mentor means, the original meaning of the word mentor. We're going to get to that on another bill, because I'm going to do a stream on mentoring. But we need to understand that these people in these industries are predatory.
Always been.
And they literally eat their young. You look at the Mickey Mouse Club, anybody who came from Disney, you look at all these young people who were young artists or young entertainers, and when they grow up, you see them, they don't even look the same. You can see it in their eyes that they changed. If you look at a 16-year-old Beyonce, how she looked, and look at her today, she's a totally different person. Totally. And they compromise their children because it's going to pay off for them as a parent. And you're right, brother. They should be right along with these executives and artists who do that to these children.
In the entertainment industry. In this video, we delve into the deeply troubling allegations and controversies surrounding two prominent figures in the music and entertainment industry, Sean Diddy Combs and Justin Bieber. Join us as we navigate through this complex and sensitive topic, shedding light on the darker side of fame and mentorship in the world of celebrities. But before starting the video, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to never miss out on any of our videos. Justin Bieber's revelations, a troubling saga. Justin Bieber, a global music sensation, recently made headlines when he revealed startling allegations about his past. He claimed that there was a time when he engaged in drug use, sipping lean, a cocktail made with codeine cough syrup, popping pills and using recreational drugs such as Molly and shrooms. These substances allegedly served as an escape during a tumultuous period of his life, shedding light on the pressures and challenges faced by young celebrities. Additionally, Bieber's revelations included claims and allegations regarding Diddy and his involvement with both Justin himself and another music icon, Usher. While Diddy is renowned for mentoring Usher, allegations suggest that he may have mistreated Usher and inappropriately influenced Justin Bieber during their formative years. The Diddy-Bieber connection, a complex tale. Reportedly, Diddy spent 48 hours with a teenage Justin Bieber, a period that has raised concerns in light of Diddy's controversial history with teenage.
That is totally inappropriate for a man to spend that much time with a teenager that's not his son or daughter. Totally inappropriate.
Boys. During this time, there are reports that Diddy showed Bieber a Ferrari and promised him the opportunity to drive it once he turned 16, even though Justin was just 15 at the time. Furthermore, it is alleged that Diddy offered Bieber a mansion that he could supposedly have when he turned 18. It's essential to underline that there is no concrete evidence to support these allegations. However, they raise significant questions about Diddy's motives behind such extravagant gifts. Speculation suggests that these actions may have aimed to involve Justin in activities unsuitable for his age, underlining the importance of proper parental guidance and protection for young celebrities, particularly in potentially vulnerable.
I agree with you, Voodoo Child. Where is the adult supervision?
Enemies public, it pisses me off. You know, I'm not happy about Diddy at all. I don't support any of this shit.
No, sir.
Why the parents get to skate? Because I mean, simple shit have involved with my kids, not nowhere near to this level. And the school had to call the police for me because I want some answers, homie.
Damn right. Damn right. It should have been adult supervision there outside of the executives. A parent, you know.
And this is common sense, bro. This is, I mean,
exactly.
It ain't like none of these stories aren't repetitious that we haven't been hearing this for years. I mean, it went from the realm of rumor to the realm of tabloids, and now it's pretty much proven that. Because to me, repeated coincidence mean no coincidence at all.
Yes, sir. I agree with that, brother. It's not a coincidence.
Situations. Unearthing dark allegations. The shadow on Diddy's legacy. Beyond the claims surrounding Justin Bieber, allegations of sexual misconduct and abuse have been made against Diddy. While it's important to approach these claims with caution, they contribute to the overall narrative surrounding Diddy's alleged behavior. Former associates and colleagues have also insinuated that Diddy may be involved in various inappropriate activities, including accusations of being gay. These allegations have cast a shadow over his professional career and personal life. It's crucial to treat these allegations as alleged until concrete evidence emerges. However, the claims surrounding Diddy's alleged negative influence on both Usher and Justin Bieber are deeply troubling. It is suggested that Usher's association with Diddy during his early career may have had a detrimental impact, as Usher has faced legal issues and allegations of intentionally spreading herpes. Similarly, Justin Bieber has publicly discussed his struggles with addiction and lawbreaking, reportedly stemming from his teenage years. The broader implications and the entertainment.
See, a lot of that with this young man is escapism, the trauma of what happened to him, which is most case scenario for a lot of the young entertainers. It's escapism. You see them wilding out, you think they're crazy. A lot of people was looking at Orlando Jones like he was crazy as hell, but not realizing that this young man was tampered with and exploited. Orlando Jones, among other, like you know, people shaving their head and they got tattoos all over them as a 16-year-old and just breaking laws, being rebellious. That's escapism.
Entertainment industry's call to action. These allegations underscore the need for accountability and transparency in the entertainment industry. While there are ongoing debates about Diddy's alleged involvement in the deaths of artists like Tupac and Biggie, it is crucial to approach such claims with caution and await concrete evidence before making any definitive conclusions. The tumultuous world of show business, often shrouded in secrecy and speculation, calls for a more thorough examination of its ethics and practices. As we await the truth, it is important to acknowledge that these are allegations, and it is paramount to continue investigating and connecting the dots in an unbiased manner. The allegations surrounding Diddy and Justin Bieber are a stark reminder of the challenges young stars face in the spotlight and the responsibility of the industry to protect and guide them.
Responsibility of the
In
parents.
conclusion, the allegations and controversies surrounding
You were saying, brother?
Responsibility of the parents, but we know they don't want the parents with power anymore. This is why I have no belief in the system. We need to walk away from it, because look at this. A child now at 11 years old can tell his parents, I feel like a girl when I'm a boy. I feel like a boy when I'm a girl. And on top of this, we're steady speaking of this stuff like the industry must protect your child. Where are the people who were there that day when mama was sweating and daddy was worried and they pushed you out? Why they getting off free? Why they getting off with a free fucking pass? And on top of this, we know they're not really getting a free pass. You really want this because on the other side, you're telling the kids, hey, you get third, fourth grade, if you start feeling a little chickish, you can go ahead and get you a set of titties. You know, if your mom don't accommodate that, we're gonna throw them into jail. So to me, both sides are showing me the same thing, that they want our children to act as adults without any knowledge or understanding of being an adult. And not only that, they want to give them too much power to take their own self down.
Exactly. Give give them the gun to put to their head.
Yeah. So to me, that shows me that the system is looking for one thing: for us to self-destruct as a people, because they're not supporting us, they're not giving any infrastructure, and they're turning around and talking this, this I'm a victim talk. When I want to know, I mean, I seen the video where Usher mom said she signed over the rights for P Diddy to be his. Man, I wish I would ever sign over the rights.
That should have never happened, brother. That should have never happened.
And guess what? If P Diddy go down for Usher, then his mama need to be right there.
Yep, exactly, because she signed off to.
Yeah, P Diddy didn't steal Usher out the mall. He didn't steal him out the mall.
Exactly, she signed off for that.
For him to be introduced to drugs, sleeping in the bed with grown men, all kind of illicit parties. But as a mother, y'all the first ones want to talk about how much you love your child. Well, I don't recognize any love. I only see greed.
Yeah, like I'm saying, they hoard their children out to the industry.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what they did, and she should have been everywhere that her son was. Everywhere. And then when it came to those parties, no, my son's a minor. No, can't go to that. I don't care how big the record is, he can't go to that. But for the sake of getting that money, he probably got her in a nice house and a nice car, and she probably able to spend money frivolously, and that's all they care about. Really, that's all they care about. That money, the money they're getting from their all the money in the world that they probably would have never seen if it wasn't for the talent of their child.
It's crazy because the best thing that ever happened to them in the world, they offered it up to anything. I mean, to have a child changed me miraculously, and you took the best thing ever offered to you and you just sold it off to some ex-dancer cat who has trivial behavior without no problem. And these are people that really always opening their mouth talking about their gods and their beliefs and how much they were blessed.
Yes.
And it's so crazy, man.
That's the craziest part, brother. That's the craziest part, when they get up there and thank God, knowing the evil that they did and how they got there. That's the craziest part. Even the gospel singers are involved in the same thing.
All of them.
Exactly. They'll get up there and thank God. They will get up there and thank God. I mean, they got a ritual going on tomorrow night, bro. There's a ritual going on tonight.
That's why I like to connect all of them. Let's not just point at P Diddy. Let's connect all of them.
That's why I said, listen, it's all of us. At the beginning of the video, I said it's the industry in general. I said, but the focal point is one individual that I want to deal with. But brother, I share your sentiment when it comes to the entire industry is corrupt and wicked as hell, bro. Wicked. It's an industry. It's not about the talent. If it was about the talent, a lot of them wouldn't have made it. If you are marketable and they could put you in a studio and you can sing and they could tweak your voice and they're sellable, they'll do it. They will do it. But at the same time, they're going to exploit the hell out you. They're going to exploit you.
Yes, sir.
Surrounding Diddy and Justin Bieber have ignited a fierce debate about the power dynamics and potential pitfalls in the entertainment industry. These claims serve as a reminder that fame and fortune come with their share of challenges, and it is vital for the industry to take a hard look at its practices to ensure the well-being of its young stars. As we await further developments, the world watches closely, hoping for...
Bro, do you remember the two Corys? Corey
Oh yeah, I remember him. I remember Shia LaBeouf too.
Exactly. I mean, some of these entertainers end up taking their lives because of what they went through from an executive or
now. I don't even think they do it because of what they went through. I do it because they know they don't have any help, any recompense. Nobody's believing them. Nobody's listening, because guess what? The only way you can lock down an event like that is if everybody's on the same page. I remember I was in the studio one time, and this guy, I was in Dallas, this guy comes in, black guy, bald head. He's wearing a business jacket with a button-down shirt and some tight-ass blue jeans, and he's got high heels on. Well, everybody already in the studio know I don't fucking play with the squigglies. I call them the squiggly lines. You know how Fred Sanford used to shake his hand from side to side. That squiggly motion. So as soon as he walks in the room, my guy, the guy that knows me, and no, I don't rock with this shit at all, he immediately looks at me and gives me the eye, because he knows, hey, bro, don't do it. And then, so I kind of walks out immediately, go outside and chill. He follows me outside. He was like, man, that guy right there is in control of anybody who comes here and perform. I'm from Beyonce to Jay-Z. They can't perform in Dallas without going through this guy right here. Well, I was like, well, I mean, shit, if it take my music to become popular to do that, homie, I'll just stay outside. I mean, he's a good person to know. I don't need to know him. What's good about him to know? Unless I want to whore myself out, and I'm not doing that, homie. When I look in the mirror, I like feeling good about myself. I don't like looking in the mirror and generating a bad taste in my mouth. And I'm sorry, I came here thinking my music was good enough. If I got to sell all that shit, then I'm sorry, but the deal is over.
Yes, sir. It's a deal breaker, brother.
I don't smoke no sausage, homie. I love women.
That's a straight up deal breaker when they start introducing anything that I'm not with, and especially that. That's a deal breaker. As a matter of fact, I'm out and look, and when I leave, don't follow me behind talking that nonsense.
Aggressive behavior.
Don't follow me when I'm out. Don't follow me talking that nonsense, because it's gonna go bad.
I'm gonna show you that leg can fly, homie.
Exactly, it's gonna go bad. Don't do that.
For clarity and justice in this complex web of allegations. Thank you for watching. If you liked our video, then hit the subscribe button to never...
Now we're gonna go to some stuff that Ice Cube said about this situation. He said he got some footage that can put Diddy behind bars.
You ought to not say that.
Who killed Tupac and Biggie?
What's that, brother?
He ought to not say that. He should be hiding. When you start saying you got this, you got that, that what makes me think that you're a part of the narrative. It makes me think you're part of the narrative, because at your stage, Ice Cube, I'm more than sure you know the worst thing to do is tell the enemy what type of weapon you got.
Exactly. My thing is, you should just do it.
Yes.
What
Even
are you
if
gonna
do it anonymously. With that amount of money, you can pay anybody to say, hey, go here and release that.
Oh, you could have just called TMZ, so I got something for you. Bang, that's it.
Well, you know, TMZ
Do it anonymous.
game. You can't
do it
really
anonymous.
Yeah, I mean, any of these cats the same way, bro. We got to separate and get our own. We got to have our own music industry to release our music without any stipulations.
That's the crazy part, though, Voodoo Child. A lot of these brothers was doing good with their little independent labels.
Yes, sir.
They was doing good with them. But when you go and you sell to the bigger person, because you know, and what's crazy about that, and sometimes, oft times, the reason that we even mess with some of these brothers and these sisters is because they one of us. Like when they get the clothing line, we mess with FUBU because it was for us by us. That's why we mess with that. You know what I'm
Micro,
saying?
macro, bro. Even when they introduce a new drug or anything, what do? They tell you what we did is we made the cells look like this cell so the body would
Exactly.
accept it. They do it everywhere. It's always they're
Yes.
gonna use your own.
Exactly. And we need to stop falling for that. And what we really need to stop doing, and we need to get our young people on with this. You should feel offended that an entertainer think that they can influence you. You should feel offended, especially nowadays when the gig is up and we see them for who they are. When they try to come out to think that they could influence us, we should feel offended by that because we know all of them are compromised. All of them.
Yes, but we wake up early in the morning to bring our kids to go see this artist at the mall, and this we got to bring them. We already indoctrinating them. We already giving them these idols.
Exactly. And then some of our children aspire to be like these people, and then whatever they do, you know what I'm saying, in order to get to where they're at, some of them will compromise themselves. And you got to say no. That man that brings the groceries in the house, you know what I'm saying, set them on the counter, the one who took you to get your new sneakers and your new clothes, and who bought you your bike for your birthday, who taught you how to throw your left hook properly, that's who you should be, you know what I'm saying, admiring and revering. That one. Your uncle, your daddy, your big brother. That's who you should be revering.
And I think both of these dudes were assassinated in some kind of way. More Biggie than Tupac. I think Tupac might got killed by a dude that they, had an incident with earlier that day. But Biggie's seems a little government.
There are plenty of old timers in the game who are dead sure Diddy put a hit out on Tupac, but it's a total mess right now because there's not much proof, a shaky witness in Keefy D, and Diddy's got this, of course, billion-dollar fortress built around him.
You are right, D-Shep. But I'm going to tell you this about the drug trade. The drug trade and the jail culture was married to hip-hop. When you have the prison industrial complex having a meeting with record executives to discuss how they could switch the dynamic and the energy in hip hop to criminalize those in hip hop, because when the golden era, when we was talking about, coming together and being brothers and sisters, we wasn't on this destructive path. That didn't happen coincidental, as the brother said. Voodoo Child said, it's too many coincidences that makes this not a coincidence. They had the meeting, and all of a sudden, the whole energy changed in hip hop, and they won't even. If you go in with something clean, if you go in with what we hear, all this good hip hop in the community, they don't want to market that. They want to market the self-destruction. That's what they want to market. But they also they made it cool to be dumb. They made it cool to be on the block. Now, we have record executives back in the days, I don't know how it is now, they used to have listening parties. The record executives will listen to the whole entire CD, album, whatever you want to call it. And if you put some of the stuff out that was put out after listening, there you go. Everybody know the rest.
But don't lose hope, because some OGs are starting to speak up, and Ice Cube's been dropping hints about who walked Tupac for a minute now. You see, now Diddy gives off this vibe of an untouchable dude who finessed the music industry several times, made hella cash off of good artists, and has those weird parties with his boys somewhere in the hills in his mansion. However, all of that might be coming to a grinding halt for Diddy, and it's all because of the recent Keefe D arrest. So now Keefe's getting ready for his trial, and the prosecutors, they're still scrambling for evidence. While all that's going on, Diddy's working on a gospel album with Tiana Taylor, like nothing's ever gonna touch him. But let's not forget that this dude's done some shady stuff throughout his career. And somehow, Diddy's the one who slips through the cracks, like every time. It seems like his luck might be changing though. Ice Cube, Eminem, 50 Cent, these are the ones who are actually speaking up about Diddy and the fact that he may have been behind the hit on Pac. So when Pac and Ice Cube crossed paths out of the blue, it became a real game changer for Pac. In a subtle way, Cube kind of took him under his wing. It wasn't like some big dramatic thing, but during that time, he gave Tupac some guidance and acted as a mentor of sorts, which ended up being a pretty big deal in Tupac's artistic journey. They connected because they both went through the same struggles as young black men trying to make a name for themselves in a world that seemed stacked up against them. As Tupac's star status kept on rising, he never forgot the impact that Ice Cube had on his life and career.
Let's go. I met Pac. He was still part of Digital Underground, and he was just the cool young nigga. We was both the young niggas in around the group. So we would hang and kick it and shit. This digital shit is cool, man. But I want to do records like y'all. He said, because where I live at, this shit is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And
we used to talk a lot about how Ice Cube had a massive impact on him, giving props to Cube for helping him discover his voice and gain the confidence to speak his truth. But now let's keep it real. You probably already know that Tupac managed to create the music that he truly wanted to make, all the while becoming one of the greatest and most influential artists ever. He dipped out of Digital Underground in '91 and dropped his first solo jam, Tupacalypse Now, the same year. Then he followed it up with Strictly from a Nip and Me Against the World. But things really blew up when he unleashed his Death Row Records debut, All Eyes on Me.
But as far as me, I felt like I always belonged on Death Row. Just was a matter of getting me there. Now that I'm there, mark my words, Death Row is a force to be reckoned with in this business. I promise you, no artist will outsell us. Nobody will touch us in the movie business. Ain't nobody hard as us. Ain't nobody real as us. Ain't nobody us.
All Eyes on Me went down in history as the first ever double-disc solo hip-hop album on CD. Tupac sold more than 75 million records worldwide and became a cultural legend. In true Tupac fashion, he just paid it forward, just like Cube did for him. One of the Death Row record people who Pac really impacted was Snoop Dogg, helping Snoop fully realize his unique style. The Dogfather even mentioned in an interview that his former Death Row label mate taught him the ropes of becoming a star, starting with pushing him to set up his style and fully embrace his pimp persona. Now, while all this was happening, Ice Cube was making movies in Hollywood, thanks to John Singleton's iconic film Boys in the Hood. Funny thing is, Cube wasn't all that interested in movies at the start. While all this was going down, Tupac was already dipping his toes into the film world before his music career really took off. His first film gig was back in 1991 with the flick Nothing But Trouble. Then in '92, he hit the big screen in Juice, where he played the fictional character Bishop, a role that got praise from critics. But it wasn't until 1993 that Ice Cube and Tupac crossed paths once again, and this time it wasn't about music but the movies. It's interesting because Ice Cube's decision to pass on the role of poetic justice is what opened the door for Tupac to step in. We all know that film became a cult classic. You could say that Pac and Cube's lives were kind of intertwined at that point. Their stories had similarities and their paths connected. But then things took a dark turn when Tupac got in with Suge Knight, especially after the Quad Studio shooting, which he pinned on Biggie. After his release and his move to Death Row Records, that's when Tupac adopted this aggressive gangster persona. It was like he went all in. No more of those political bars. He just started rapping about the gangster lifestyle that he seemed to have been pulled into. Pac had transformed into a whole different beast, one that even Cube couldn't recognize anymore. Hit 'Em Up was next level controversial, infamous, disturbing, and just plain brutal.
And my strong sentiment, it was trash. I know I'm going to rub somebody wrong with that, but Hit 'Em Up was trash.
This track unleashed so much hatred on Biggie, Puffy, and the entire East Coast scene that it made Ice Cube's No Vaseline, a track about his NWA crew, sound like a gentle ballad.
Now that is utter bullshit. No Vaseline, my sentiment, is the best diss track ever because he ran through a whole crew.
Even when he played "Hit 'Em Up" the song, I didn't like the song.
Did you feel like it was
I didn't
too
like
much?
it. Right. I didn't like it. Like, I didn't like shit. Like, it wasn't like the shit to me. Like, it was buying more problems, cuz. Like, you're buying problems.
Biggie seemed pretty shaken, or at least he put on a good act of it. And then Tupac claimed that he had been with Biggie's wife, rapper Faith Evans, and that.
Move on from that. That's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the beginning of that when he talked about.
Matter of fact, they sent me the girl pictures, like pictures of this girl, like not the shit that y'all saw.
We heard that one
Worse.
already.
He already has the keys to some pretty exclusive places, and now Sean Diddy Combs can.
Voodoo Child, this is the mockery of it all, brother. Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, former police captain, who had just gotten last week, sexual assault charges filed against him, gave Diddy the key to the city, brother.
Can add New York City to that list. It's Diddy Day in the city. Videos have been playing on the Jumbotron for TSX Broadway, and the crowd waited. Then around 11:30, the doors opened for the mayor and the artist.
The bad boy of entertainment is getting the key to the city from the bad boy of politics.
I want to thank y'all for this honor and just recognizing me, being from New York, giving me the key to the city. Diddy finally has the key to the city.
Today's event coincides with the release of his new album, The Love Album, Off the Grid.
That's some crazy mess. That's crazy.
Y'all need to step back. Y'all need to step back.
Please, Diddy got the city. Please, let me through. Thank you.
Underscore Day. Yeah, you got from her. Yeah. Thank you for giving me all the love. I want to thank you, Pretty Red. Thank you. For just all the love that you was giving me because you was down there rocking.
Because Diddy got that shit.
Now we're going to go to Jane Deal.
There has been negative propaganda put out about me that's not true.
Puff got one of the hottest DJs off of Hot 97 because she wanted to put up a picture of him getting his pants pulled down. When he grabbed his trunk to pull it down, some girls that was taking pictures. They took that picture and emailed it back to Wendy Williams.
Or hip hop being closeted and having a plethora of kids to prove manhood that, and denial of something that you shouldn't have to deny, which is your sexuality. Radio personality once upon a time, her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such.
Let me tell you, it seems like Diddy's ex-bodyguard Gene Deal has been spilling some piping hot tea about what went on behind the scenes and at some of the parties when he was working with Diddy. And let me tell you, some of the things he's revealed are so wild, they'll make your head spin. According to Gene, there were places that Diddy would go where even his bodyguards weren't allowed to follow. But that didn't stop Diddy from getting the juicy gossip from the ladies he invited. And even though Gene never witnessed the darker side of hip-hop while working with Diddy, he definitely heard some crazy stories from those exclusive parties. Apparently, Gene once found himself in a sticky situation at one of Diddy's bashes. He saw men being lured by women, only to end up in some very compromising positions with white dudes. Yikes. And if that wasn't enough, Gene claimed that he knew what was going on in those Turkish houses, even though he wasn't allowed inside.
He picked up some things from up here on my left side.
And then he picked like quite a few of them down. I'm like, okay. He put them in the bag. So when I went by there and I looked up there and it said butt plugs. And I was like, hey, yo.
But wait, there's more. In another interview, Gene spilled the tea about a trip he took with Diddy to a store where he allegedly saw Diddy buying some pretty, interesting items for himself. And get this, Diddy reportedly paid big bucks to keep his purchases on the DL. And as if that wasn't enough, Gene also revealed that he once went with Diddy and a buddy on a private jet to North Carolina. And where did they stay, you ask? Only in the presidential suite? Of course. Oh, and Diddy and his friend apparently stayed in the same room. So, later that afternoon, this rapper and Diddy, they were all in the room together. Gene Deal explained, next thing you know, somebody rang the doorbell. We were at the presidential suite. So I opened the door and the dude said, yo, I'm here for my cousin. Now that's what I call some juicy gossip. So there was an intruder who claimed to be none other than Ya Rule's cousin, and he was trying to get into the presidential room. Now, let me tell you, Gene had some strict instructions not to let anyone into that room. So when he saw Ya Rule's so-called cousin, he politely told him that he couldn't go in. But here's where things get crazy. Even though Gene warned him that Ya Rule and Puffy were busy and wanted some privacy, the guy outside the door wouldn't take no for an answer. In fact, he even tried to muscle his way into the hotel suite. Can you believe it? That's when Gene had had enough of this intruder's arrogance and decided to take matters into his own hands. He grabbed the guy and slammed him hard into the piano. Ouch. When I threw him into the piano, Puff and Ya Rule ran out the room. Puff got his towel, Ya grabbing his towel, but they put the foo naked. The commotion had caused the two gentlemen to leave their suite naked and holding on to their towels with a bewildered cousin looking at them. Gene Deal continued spilling the can of worms, and so then Ya Rule was like, yo, what's going on? Yo, Gene, that's my cousin. When Puffy spoke to Gene about what had happened, the bodyguard explained that he had tried to get into the room that Gene was warning him not to. He said, he tried to get in the room. I told him he couldn't get in the room. And Puff looked at Ya, and Ya said, yo, you ain't want to go in that room, cause it was a lot of freaky SH going on. Gene was more or less shocked about the largely freaky stuff statement, because it was funny seeing naked men in towels talk about doing freaky stuff together. Gene Deal recently spilled the tea about an encounter between Diddy and Tupac's fiancé, and let me tell you, it's a wild ride. As you may remember, there was a fierce feud going on between the East Coast and the West Coast, and everyone was trying to one-up each other. And while Tupac famously talked about an alleged
Peace to
encounter with
Jewel
a bad boy
512.
artist's
Peace
woman,
to Doe
Gene
Eyes.
Deal had his own story to tell about Diddy and Pac's
Peace to
fiancé,
Doe.
Kadada Jones. According to Gene's tale, Diddy was at an award show expecting to receive an award for Producer of the Year when nature called. But instead of making his way to the bathroom, Diddy decided to relieve himself right at the table. That's right, Gene claimed that Diddy took one of the pitchers on their table and peed in it underneath the table before putting it back like nothing happened. Gross, right? But wait, it gets even crazier. After Diddy's little bathroom break, Kadada Jones came over to chat with him. And while she was talking to him, she reached over and poured herself a glass of what she thought was a
This is Quincy Jones's daughter. That's who this is, Quincy Jones' daughter.
refreshing beverage from the pitcher. Little did she know, it was actually Diddy's ginger pea. Can you imagine? That's definitely a moment she'll never forget. Deal said she was about to drink it and another of Diddy's bodyguards, Wolf, stopped her from doing it. In a recent interview with The Art of Dialogue, Gene revealed some eyebrow-raising stories that will have you shook. First up, let's talk about the time Diddy allegedly peed in a pitcher at an award show. According to Gene, Diddy didn't want to use the toilet, so he relieved himself
He's just a nasty bastard.
in the pitcher at the table. But wait, it gets even crazier. When Tupac's fiancée Kadada Jones came over to chat, Diddy and Gene were going to let her drink from the same pitcher that Diddy just peed in. Yikes. Thankfully, another bodyguard, Wolf, intervened and stopped her from drinking it. Can you imagine the horror if she had taken a sip? But that's not all, folks. Gene also spilled the beans on Diddy's involvement in the infamous nightclub shooting in 1999 that left 3 people injured. While Diddy was arrested alongside his artist Shine, Gene claimed that Diddy was cleared of all charges because he snitched on his own artist. Gene also revealed that he and another bodyguard, Wolf, were given the day off when the shooting took place while Diddy and JLo were in the Hamptons before their Mediterranean cruise. Sounds fishy, doesn't it? In conclusion, Gene Deal has given us some wild stories that will make your jaw drop. From Diddy peeing in a pitcher to snitching on his own artist, it's clear that Diddy's former bodyguard has no problem spilling the tea on what really went down behind the scenes. Gene shared details about the nightclub shooting incident involving Diddy and Shine in 1999. Deal revealed that he and Anthony Wolf were not present during the shooting as they were given the day off. Wolf received a call from Diddy informing him that he would be joining him at the club shortly, but Wolf tried to persuade him not to go. Wolf left a voicemail for Gene, who ignored it. Diddy and Jennifer Lopez arrived at the club later, and Diddy tried to take over the bar, which resulted in an altercation with another group. Deal speculated that Diddy got his charges dropped while Shine served time in prison because Diddy had someone to help him out. He claimed that all three of them were charged with the same offenses, but Diddy had a business move that allowed him to get off the hook. Deal also accused Diddy of snitching on his own artist and called him a killer and a user. In addition, he recounted an incident where Diddy urinated in a pitcher at a party and planned to have Tupac's fiancée, Kadada Jones, drink it, but Wolf intervened. Gene revealed that they came to Shine and they asked Shine for 20 racks cause they had somebody that was getting...
Yeah, I remember that, Jewel. I talked about that earlier when Diddy got in trouble about somebody died and got trampled over at City College. Diddy organized that whole event.
Going to make sure all of them got off because they were not going to agree to none of them charges, and they were on the jury stand. Gene also stated that the information he was giving came from the bodyguard that was there. Wolf and Shine never publicly admitted to that factor in the case. This came from Wolf. The reason they got off was because people were coming to Bad Boy Security, Paul and other people, and said that they were there even though they were just to make money. So they were giving the dog and the lawyers cards and telling them to go make a statement. Some of those people making statements, they was making statements.
Voodoo Child, let me know if you want me to stop, brother. I'll stop it if you want to say something. Let me know if you want me to
I'm
stop it.
learning right now, bro, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been monitoring myself with all this social media bullshit. I'm kind of new to YouTube. Been conscious a long time. I've been fucking them up in church since I was a kid. None of it never made sense to me.
Yes, sir.
So all this stuff is brand new to me, bro. You know, and 99, I heard about the Shine stuff, never understood what it really was about because I wasn't into it. I wasn't watching I never was a video dude. I'm still seeing videos right now for the first time when I'm around other people. So none of this stuff. I was already owning the business then. At 22 years old, I was running the business already. I was self-employed. So I didn't have time for none of this here, stuff. So all this is new to me. A lot of this stuff I'm hearing for the first time. I'm gaining different insights on it. But I'm just amazed as a people what we've been tangled up in. So much non-productive BS.
Yes.
I mean, because it's cats like, people who are allowed to be called mothers and fathers. I want to know, do they ever come to a point to look back on all this stuff that they found so interesting in life, and do they ever come to the point to question their involvement in it? Because I'm like, all this stuff you playing for me, I don't know. I don't know who killed Tupac, didn't give a damn. Don't know who killed Biggie, didn't give a damn. None of that's helping the condition of my people. I'm amazed that we so caught up in these artists. It's amazing that our artists who get to this level of wealth don't fix some of the simple problems in the neighborhood. Some of our problems can simply be fixed. So it's clear to me that if we don't invest in ourselves, ain't nothing gonna happen. Because the things that we even find important to involve ourselves with, our time, our knowledge, our memory, it really amounts to fucking nothing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
it's amazing that we got to go here as conscious people just to pull them out of the negative to the zero, to get them to step up into the real positive ones and twos so they can start living a real life. That they're so deeply embedded in this shit that to get a conscious conversation started, we got to go over here and give a fuck about who got shot behind a nightclub. When other people's existence, Muslims, Chinese, I'm sure they don't have to go here with their children, with their fellow people, with their peers to make a point. So the job before us is very, 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 very
yes, it
tough.
is.
It is tough. And not only that, the people who here with us, I hope you understand, you're going to have to sacrifice yourself to this. You're going to have to become the sacrifice person because the people before you invested eons, time, and nothing.
Yes.
Not something that could even be a percent of goodness, and nothing.
Exactly.
Our top people, our athletes playing the football and the other sports, they're the top 1% of who the people chose to be there. And then when they get there, they show us that they amount to nothing because they'll be quieted for the money. When they can see this is wrong.
Yep.
They could. So guess what? if we don't start off ourselves, then we in peril. Because even the people who are deemed our top ain't about shit.
Yes, exactly. I want to welcome Duke to the platform. If you would like to, you can tap in.
I mean, this is what gives Sean Puffy Combs not, I wouldn't say the right, because no one has the right to do this, but this what gives him the thought in his mind he has the right, because he knows, being someone who's college educated and come from nothing up to something, I'm sure along that trail with who he's getting around and meeting, he realized our condition is in a state of nothing if we don't go away. If we stay involved with this, we're going to get what we're getting. And if we're
Yes.
trying to change it, we're going to get what we're getting. We can't infiltrate this. This is a mastermind computer. And people that
Yes, it
doing these
is.
type of things know that they can get away with it, and all it takes is a few dollars. Because even most of us listening right now are in love with it. And I tell them all the time, I say, bro, money ain't nothing but death. It's supposed to be just a tool. Now, let me tell you something. It's no coincidence that a casket is 2.5 feet wide by 6 feet long, and then a dollar bill is 2.5 inches wide by 6 inches long. It's micro,
Yes.
macro, homie, and you're in love with it. In fact, who you are is directly attached to it, and you're imagining it because you got to have the bag.
Indeed.
When you got a price, I'll never trust you. If I hear you talk like it's too much, I'll never trust you.
You can't trust someone who has a price. You have to be you have to be uncompromising.
Yes, sir. And to me, as soon as
Uncompromising.
even if you never had that as a child, you weren't exposed to that growing up. I understand that because people want to make those arguments. I wasn't brought up, but I was brought up the same way. It was something about me that was always asking questions. Okay, but now that you're a grown up, what's your excuse? Now that you become a parent, when I never wanted children, but when I held my first son in my arms, it fucked me up. Everything I knew went black in my mind. All I could hear is beep. I was like, now what you do? Somebody's life, you're in charge of it. What he
Exactly.
sees, what he knows, what he will become is directly from you. And then I listen to all the other parents talk about they need a break. And I wonder what the fuck they talking about. A break from what?
Yeah.
I need a break. I got to take some time off. You should have never had no children if that's how you feel. But let me retract that statement because I don't get to say that. People gonna tell me I'm wrong for only making observations.
You don't
it's not.
You stand on that because it's the truth.
No, I'm doing that sarcastically, brother. You know.
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah. I hear
because
you,
the tenders out there, they wake up every morning with their feelings on their sleeve. Involving themselves in a situation that don't give a damn about your feelings.
Yes,
Only
sir.
if they're only to manipulate them and exploit them and use them against you.
Yes, sir. Duke, you want to tap in?
Oh, peace and love. Peace and love. This is a great bill. I'm
Thank
enjoying
you.
this. Yes. Thank you, Big Dog Philly OG, for giving me the information. I didn't know about this brother, but he going in. And I love this brother, the one that I always say that he reminds me of Barry White. Every time he talk, he remind me of Barry White. I gotta sit up and stand up straight. God
Yes,
damn,
man.
you are bringing the truth, and you are absolutely right. We need to get back because this is not it.
At all.
This is not it.
This is a parasitical entity that's
Yes, it
constantly
is.
drawing for us, and that we make excuses for it to explain it away so easily. We gossip about it, we talk about it, we seem that it fills our life, but in essence, it means nothing because we do nothing, and we
It
watch
is.
it steady tear away at us. For years, we defended it. It ain't the rap. Don't blame it on the music. Bullshit. I hear youngsters quote it all the time, like they've spoken to the master, like this one said, like that one said.
Exactly. And I've been conscious of this since like 1989. And the reason why I do this type of work because I know that a lot of our young people don't know this and they aspire to be like some of these dudes. And I'm like, they are nothing to
Yeah,
be like. They want to
yeah.
be like them. And they got to be warned of what they getting into because if they don't be warned, if they don't know, they're gonna fall a victim to it because it's still parents out there that would drop their child off.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Well, you know what? No. When it comes to my children, no.
I
I
hear you.
make it clear. I make it clear. No, this is how it is, and this is how I grew up, and this is how my granddad, my dad, my mama, my grandpappy, my grandma. This is how we did it, and this is how it's going to be. But we lost that. We lost that. These children are gone because they are changing the frequency.
Yeah, they changed the frequency. They changed it
They
altogether.
did. They
Yeah, they did.
changed it
They
and they
clearly did that,
upped it.
sister.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And if we don't take it back, we're gonna lose it because we at war. And I keep telling people, everybody, you know what? I'm not gonna be on here long because everybody always talk about, oh, she this and she that,
Take
and
your time.
you
Take your
know,
time.
she always hugging and she this and you know what? We at war. And I tell my kids,
Real.
my kids are military combat ready. And that's how I teach my kids. My kids are guerrilla warfare when it comes to their father. So we are both. When I teach them, when you go out, keep your head on a swivel. Make sure you watch. Make sure you have the eyes in the back of your head and the front,
Hey, that's the
side,
same
back.
thing I tell my kids. I tell them, ma'am, not to cut you. I say, don't invest your time in safety, because the one who coming for you, he ain't worrying about safe. Keep your head on the swivel.
Exactly.
Yes,
Scour,
sir.
scour, scour every room you walk in. That's what you're supposed to do. Learn how to get a photographic memory of things around you, and
You
just
never know.
say,
Yes, sir.
keep your
You,
head on the swivel.
hey,
Observe
man,
everything.
I used to do pop up fire drills in my house. 4 o'clock in the morning, I go outside and turn all the damn circuit breakers off, and I come back in the house and stand in the middle of the kitchen and beat on a pot, and then and tell them that they need to know their own house. You don't need to be a victim in your house. You need to know where it's at. Under the
Exactly.
top of my toilet seat is a knife tape there. Somebody come to your house that's not supposed to be there. At any part of your house, you're supposed to be able to come and attack them, or when they come in, you're supposed to attack them and be safe in your house. You're not a victim in here.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
That's why
Yes,
I got.
sir.
That's
In
why I
my
got
house, we.
them cams. That's
Mhm.
why I got them cameras, and I got the motion lights, and I got notification that go off on the phone. Anybody come within 25 feet of my house, and you can come through there if you want to. I guarantee you, they gonna find you.
I,
Bake a cake for them.
I, I just want to say this. When it comes to military combat, let me talk to the sisters. When I go out with my children, or when I go out with my husband, I have to be very careful because they are ready to protect. And a lot of sisters think that, oh, you don't protect me. Oh, oh. A lot of men lose their lives because they trying to protect a woman that don't understand her environment and the situation that she's in. My job is to protect my family. My job is to make sure we all get out alive. So I'm not going to elevate a situation that's going to get my husband killed or my children killed because they're going to protect their mama. My husband going to protect his wife with all course. But
Yeah, you know, I
as a
always say,
woman, as a woman, we have to realize we have to make sure that we de-escalate to make sure that we all get out alive. We at war.
that's true.
Let me tell you, the enemy is here. Make no mistake about it. The enemy is here. Where they going to strike, I don't know. But like I tell
They're
my
already, Chris,
children,
they're already striking because you know they could implement things in the school that's not of our children's best interests. They are striking already because they're trying to take the control of our children. And
Yes.
But
like the brother said earlier, saying they can make adult decisions as children. And
but
they
let me
and if we say something about it, we are abusing our children because we say something about them. When you allow your children to make adult decisions as children, you know what you get? You get Willow Smith and Jalen Smith.
no.
That's what you
Yeah,
get.
not no,
You
not
get
not
them
those
because
those big no.
they were allowed to make adult decisions as children. Their parents let
Well,
them make
they,
adult decisions
because
instead of
their
saying you're
parents
doing
were sick.
this.
Their parents were sick in the head, and that's why they
Exactly.
sick in the head, and that's
Exactly.
why I don't even deal with them. But when it comes to my household, oh, we run shit in here. When it comes to my household, you ain't gonna come and dictate because I know you. You're not gonna do that. Now, when you go to the school, I understand that they're doing this, indoctrinating stuff. But when you come home, I always tell my last born, he's 18 now. So we trying to get him off the university. But I was like, oh, what's going on? Hey, how's school? I interact with my children. What's going on? And then I have to re-educate them and tell them, and I give them proof. This is what is happening. And if you want to challenge it, come challenge it.
Well,
But I'm not going to sit here and allow you. Okay.
I have a very, very thorough wife, and when I walk side by side with her, you know, you would have to worry about her if you in our circumference and and you trying some funny business. Very beautiful but thorough. Would tear your ass up in a heartbeat. And as far as me and my wife, I always say it. My wife called me and said you messed her eyebrows up. You got a problem with her husband. You better get it right when it comes to mine.
Facts. Facts.
You better get
Facts.
it right.
There you go. Facts. That's why I don't want to rile the feathers because I know my husband. And then my job is to protect my family. And
Exactly.
then we, as women, we have to be careful because they're on the front line trying to protect us. There's a lot of men. I can't remember what city that was where the sister was going off and then she was dealing with a white man and the so-called white man, pale face. And she was going off and the brother, her husband, was protecting her. But the dude ended up shooting him
Yeah, I remember
because
that. I remember that.
yes, yes,
It
yes.
was down in Florida. He was at her car going off on her, and of course, naturally, and not that not she can't be held at fault with that because dude was at the car. She can't leave her own car because some dude at the car. But I say it like this: if you have a woman, you in a relationship or you married, you got a woman that don't listen to you, she can put both of y'all in danger.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We as women, when you know you have a man that's going to protect you with their life, or my children going to protect me with my life, it's my job as a female to make sure I de-escalate that crap because I need to survive and my family needs to survive. So we got to go on a even keel to make sure nobody gets hurt because I know my family. I tell my kids, you have a boundary, and you let them know that hey, look, you crossing this boundary, and if you step over this boundary, I'm going to lay you flat because that's how I teach them. And then if they cross that boundary, they already warned you. you gonna lay right there and you ain't gonna get up. Trust me when I tell you, you ain't gonna get up, because that's how I teach them. I teach them military style. They ain't gonna get up. But I got to be careful because I need my kids to survive. I need my husband to survive. So even though I teach the military, we as women, we have to make sure that we survive. And I got to make sure that, hey, look, we have to de-escalate the situation,
When I say
because
that, when I say what I said, it's like, if you tell your wife, let's go, because a lot of times I can sense it. I can sense something about to happen. If I say, let's go, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Don't stall when I say let's go.
I'm gonna, hey, I'm gonna go. If if my man say let's go,
I'm going to jump
we
in front
going.
from my wife. It's my
We
wife.
going. But I'm
I'm
not
going
gonna
with my wife.
put my family in harm's way. And we as females need to understand, when the man say he wants to leave, let him leave. Like I said, I've been saying it all before. The man is the head. He's the head of the household. Go ahead, baby. Yeah, you are the head of the household. But remember, females, you are the neck that controls the head. But when you get out of bounds, it can cause your death and the family's death. So you got to be careful. Like I always tell my kids, when you get out that door, keep your head on the swivel. Focus.
You're in.
Pay attention.
You're actually in the wilderness when you walk outside your door, and oftentimes it's not even. They try to come in your house today, so you got to do exactly what the brother Voodoo Child said. You got to have drills. You got to have everybody on the same page of what needs to happen. If whatever happens, what needs to take place, the reaction to the action. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, you gotta have that, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. The ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure. You gotta have that ounce of prevention.
And you're absolutely right. You
Watch,
stay ready.
watchful.
You stay ready. You don't have to get ready. And I stay ready. I keep my house is fortified. I keep yeah. My husband's like, oh, you buying all this? Why you buying? If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. I know his mentality. I
Peace to
know
my
how
brother
he
T
fight.
Moses. Salute to you, good brother.
I
Born peace. Go ahead, sis.
Oh, I think I've been talking too long, so I'm
No,
just
no,
gonna get off this panel.
you good. But I didn't want to go too much longer. I didn't want to go too much longer anyway. I wanted to present the information if anybody want to come up.
Yes, I love your panel, and you did very well.
I
And
appreciate it.
as far as Jaguar go, she's she is she is moving everywhere because her life is threatened. She already said that her life is threatened, so
I
she's been
believe that.
moving.
I
Her
tell you
kids
this,
been
bro.
taken away from her. She going through a whole lot just because
If
she want to bring the truth. But
I got on YouTube
I
around 2014, something like this. I started, and I used to see a lot about this Jaguar chick. And at one time, I thought it was all gossip, because I don't, like I said, I'm not plugged in. I don't know who's doing what's been said, what's going on. But now to see all this stuff coming to fruition, I like to say it openly to the public. I appreciate that sister. She is very fucking brave.
Yes, sir.
Because if a tenth of what she's been saying is true, which I believe all of it really now to the point
Me too.
that I have investigated some of these things and said, man, let me see what she's talking about. She is very brave. She got bigger balls than every man in the industry right now.
Real.
All these cats that's keeping their
uh,
mouth shut. And another one I missed too was Pimp C. I
Yeah,
appreciate them brothers.
definitely.
no Pimp C got killed in the hotel, right? With the chick, with the prostitute chick
All I'm
that
saying is I
they
appreciate these bro.
They planted.
yeah, they planted. Hmm.
I just
Mm-hmm.
appreciate these people that are
Yes.
saying the truth, because you know you got all this other bullshit flying around, and they need to know, because right now when you saying, "Oh, leave them kids alone, let them listen to their music," and the song is about somebody's booty hole being brown. I mean, it's it's. I mean, come on, bro. It's infective. It's destructive, and to
Yes, it
me,
is.
they talk about the rappers used to womanize and talk bad about the girls and all this stuff. But I want to know how wasn't they telling the truth when what we see now that women running the game. I don't see it being elevated at all. I see it being more the same, just
No,
changed from the focal point of who's saying it now.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
women is not.
What
No, women is not running the game.
they're saying
This
about
is
the
all by design.
No, what I mean, and I know I believe that. I believe it's all by design. They're empowering the women. Basically, what they're doing is they're demasculating the males, because men look feminine as hell today. They smell feminine. I don't even like the colognes they wearing. All this shit smell too
That
far.
is so fact.
All these cats walking around with these bald looking ass faces with these cut back eyebrows and shit and all this extra
yes, sir. Tell
manicure.
me about it.
Then on the other side, the chicks look like brutes now. They walk around with these big booties, but they walk like Larry the Plumber, and they big and they rough and they tough and they piercing everything, and they think it's
Yeah,
their own invention when it's clearly not. If you've been here long enough, you can see what they're doing to them. The
yeah.
food is full with estrogen. The estrogen makes the male soft. You know what I'm saying? They saying these cats, other than the computer, their sexuality is zero. They too much in love with money, clothes, and shooting the shit out of each other.
Yep.
And video games. And the
It's
women,
atrazine.
and the women. I'm looking at some big chicks, man. They still beautiful, but I'm like, whoa, she is big. Look at
You
that.
know, we tell they're saying they are saying it about themselves now instead of
Yeah.
you know
Oh,
what I
oh,
mean?
I had a chick argue me down the other day, telling me my mama's a man. She's a transsexual. I'm like, she got a penis, and she like, no. And I was like, what makes her a man? She got a beard and everything. I said, so a beard makes you a man. A penis don't make you a man either. I said, it definitely makes you male though. I said, she male, and she was
But
trying to
but
argue, getting an attitude about it. I'm like, what? This is crazy.
but they use men are using women as beards.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To make them appear masculine like a man.
Roger,
As a
Roger. Oh, oh, of course, of
women as
course, of
beards.
course,
So they
of
don't mean
course,
nothing having a beard.
of course, of course.
No, this is all genocidal. This is all pandemic to make you fertile so you don't have babies. They have an
Yeah, yeah,
agenda,
Yeah.
and
Agenda 21. If you study that, if I've heard of it, check it out.
no, Agenda 2030, not Agenda
Hey,
21
hey,
anymore. It's Agenda 2030.
what they said that they were gonna emasculate the females. If you watch all the TV shows at these all the girls, little bitty girls beating up men, just the sheer weight difference alone. I'm sorry. Layla Ali is a badass boxer, but she ain't about to get in the ring with Floyd Mayweather. He's small, but he'll beat her ass.
Yes,
That's
he
just the
will.
bottom line on it.
Not a
So all
lie.
these TV shows show these women beating men up and throwing them around, and I'd be like, wow, I hate that. If I had a daughter, I would never let her watch this. I would like, don't get an imagined thought in your mind that you about to deal with a
Exactly.
man. On the
Exactly.
same term, all the men are being told you got to be more understanding and caring and feeling, and then you watch what's happening. You look at them. I mean, their dances, everything look just so feminine. I'm like, wow. And they have no problem with it, but they got this violent attitude of a woman, but all the strength of a man.
Yep.
So that's a horrible
But
combination.
An overly emotional man. It's
Oh
violent.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, and they're dangerous too. They make decisions
The
that
same
have.
dude. It's the same dude who punched his sister in the little restaurant, and her son had to kill his ass.
Yeah.
That's what you get from that. That's what you get from that. The emotional man telling her if she say one more word, he gonna knock her out. That's the old
but this is
And
man.
all he had to do is laugh at her and just walk off.
Exactly.
but
Exactly.
this is this is what you call Agenda 2030, where they are trying to dehumanize us
Yes,
and make
yes.
us less of a human being and
Gender.
make us degenderize us and tell us you a he, her,
Hey, did you see it?
this
Did you
and
see in
that.
the future?
But
Did you see in the plan where they say in the future they're going to sell it by saying in the future your kids are not going to be liable to get sexually transmitted diseases, and sex will be virtual, and then you could be a male and carry a baby or a female and carry a baby, and it's exactly what they're doing because you look at the men's clothes, they look all gay, these wide holes for the neck and V-neck T-shirts and all this stuff, and I mean.
Shirts that show your collarbone.
Yeah. I always like my T-shirt tight around my neck.
I can't wear no shirt like that. I gotta have a crew neck.
They're clearly feminizing the boys to death, and I don't
but
agree with.
it's the atrazine. It's the atrazine. They putting it in the water, so that means that
In the food.
when a female is carrying an egg and they say it's a a male, they putting that atrazine in it to make them more feminized in the brain. So when they come out, they thinking they more feminine now. We at war.
I
We
like
at
to look.
war
I like to look at the
with
stats on
feminine.
that, and I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm gonna look into that because it's got to be something because they genuinely
It's the
believe in.
atrazine that they putting in the water.
Put it in the
Remember they say they turning the frogs gay. Remember frogs mate with females.
Yeah,
I remember that.
yeah,
I remember
yeah. I
that.
do remember that.
I remember that.
Hey man, because look, it's
And
clearly
now the frogs mate with males.
and this is what tells you that it's a program because now in the
Yes,
schools,
it's genocide.
in the schools, they're literally telling your child. I was in Walmart the other day, and the little guy heard me speak, and he immediately turned around. He heard my voice, and he's told, and I could see that the kid was aware. He looked at his bigger brother, and he said, "I see a person, not a man." And I just looked at him. I said, "Wow, look at that." And the brother said, "Yes, that's a person." And he was a little kid. I was like, "Wow."
Indoctrinated. That
So I want to understand. I'm
They
trying to
getting them
understand.
young. They're getting them
This is what
young.
messes me up, though. How is a parent? Because the minute my child come home saying
Because
that
he's
you're not a boy,
indoctrinated.
I'm sorry, something got to happen. I can't send him back there. It's not.
No,
I'm not
he's
going.
indoctrinated.
You
So
know
he's
what?
okay
You know
with
what?
it.
Though they
So
gonna see you as crazy because you confronting them about that. Because I did a video months back where a grandfather confronted a teacher because she put his grandson in a dress. Now, mind you, they had plenty of clothes that they sent if he, dirty his clothes or went to the bathroom that they could put on the child. So she decided to put him in a dress despite all of that, and she acted so condescending to that brother when he was confronting her. And I'm like, yo, he better get out of there because that was me, man. And she act like she did nothing wrong. And and just brushing off what I'm saying, that would anger me so much that they would have to call the authorities on me.
because it is the the order has been given, whereas now I'm gonna turn you upside down, inside out. I'm gonna make you be male when you are a female. I'm gonna make you a female when you are male. I'm gonna turn. That's what it means. I'm gonna turn you inside out, and that's what they're doing.
That's a way.
This
That's a
country
way.
has
That's a
been
way to depopulate. Also, there's definitely a way to depopulate the.
Yes, because like I tell them,
Right.
you could love the hell out homeboy if you homeboys and y'all loving each other homeboys. But I'm gonna tell you, you can rub that wood all day, but ain't nothing gonna come from it, homie. If everybody do that, 20 years, the earth empty. So I want to know where's the goodness in it?
what
Where's
it's
the
all
replication?
about depopulation.
Yes.
Remember, they got to beat their
Definitely,
goal. It's all about
definitely.
depopulation. But
They
you got to
culling the herd.
remember, they don't put that in other countries, especially Muslim countries. Qatar, they don't have that gay shit going on over there.
They do. It's just
Trust me.
underground. It's everywhere.
No,
What
no,
I
no,
want.
because remember when they had the Olympics over there, They when you started talking about that gay shit, they put you on the plane, you out of there.
Listen,
So if it's underground, let me know.
I want to land the plane right here. I don't want to go.
Okay, sir.
I don't
I'm
want
gonna
to.
peace out. Thank
Peace.
you.
Thank you for coming up. Voodoo Child, my brother.
Yes, sir.
You know what time it is. I'll be in touch about what we talked about, brother.
Roger that.
And we have some work to do. You know
No
that.
doubt.
You know
Yes,
we have
sir.
work to do, brother, because
Mhm.
we can't have our children aspire to this, to what we see as far as like a lot of our children have talent. They have talent, but we can't have them aspire to and fall a victim to an industry that's going to destroy them. We can't. We're gonna have to find a work. We're gonna have to work a way and find a way to have them exploit their talent without all that, brother.
Roger that.
And I thank you for coming up, good brother.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Yes, sir.
Thanks to everybody listening. Go home, love your families. Question some of these holidays you are doing. If you're gonna love it so much and pass it to your loved ones, then at least research it. I don't want to give you no opinion about it, but maybe Thanksgiving, go find out what they were being thankful for. And if you're gonna try to put your own energy on top of it, you should understand what you're building on top of in the first place. And
Exactly.
and it's a good conversation to have with your children and your loved ones. Don't go in there with emotion and feeling. Go in there with knowledge. Do your research, and sit down and then let's talk about something right quick. I mean, if if you're gonna let the TV in your life, you're gonna let the tablet in your life, maybe you should interject a little bit here and there too.
Yeah,
I land.
those holidays are really holidays, brother.
Oh, I know exactly where they come from. I looked into all of them. I don't do any of them. And besides, you'll save yourself a little money. And not only that, as becoming an elder, you get to be the guy who they say, Grandpa so and so told us about this, and we stopped doing this, and now we do this for the family. Or we get together on that day and we look at investing or paying for insurance policies for the future, and making sure that each one of your family members protected, and you build wealth, because that's how they do it.
Exactly.
Stop falling in love with name brands and just create your own. If you think somebody else's name is that important, why not yours?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it'd be better if you go get your suit made and stuff, and it has your name on it, as opposed to having somebody else's name on it. Have
No
your name
doubt.
on it. I want to say peace to my brother Rob Bourne, Chungus Khan, P. Moses, my brother Big Dog Philly OG, Hurricane JW. Respect to the sister Jewel 512, the sister Aduke, the sister Doe Eyes, my brother P. Moses. I'm going to want to say peace to everybody who came through. My brother Executive Sessions, my brother D. Shep. Respect to the sister Miss Renee Grown Folks Talk. Peace to Detectus. Peace to Detectus. Peace to the brother Voodoo Child for coming up. My brother Executive Sessions. Respect to Kelly. Respect to Inclusion Guru. Thank you all for coming up. I appreciate you coming up. Peace to Enox. Peace to OG Green Machine. Peace to my brother Keith West. I appreciate everybody's continued support of the enemy's public. Peace to my brother Brown's Flat Power God. Peace to Joe King. Thank you for coming through. Peace to my brother Warfare K. Peace to my brother D. Allen Warren. I want to thank everybody for their continued support of the Enemy's Public. We're going to try to keep the content relevant and pertinent. And we're going to go out with some Dre Cobbs. This is your brother Nasir. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope it was enlightening. This is the Enemy's Public. Like, share, subscribe. Show support to the channel. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Peace.
Yeah. Where do you run when there's nowhere to hide? I'm feeling like Pop. I'm having ambitions to ride. You draw the line between the truth and the lies. I can see the hurt just by the look in their eyes. Yeah, can you feel me? You know I bring that high energy. I change me into a better me. Yeah, I had some stars that was tapped into my memory. Giving you that real cause I know you gon' remember me. Loyal to the soil cause you know I'm aboriginal. Picture me rolling through Chicago. Thinking about some friends that I lost to some hollows. Thinking about time cause I know it's all borrowed. Yeah, wishing the world peace and blessings from the ancestors. We get the message and I ain't wasting a second. Learning every day and I ain't wasting a lesson. Put this in the essence. Can you feel my presence? Could it be between truth and lies? Because it do for you. Hope you're better now. I'll be better soon. Hope you're better soon. I'll be better now. I'm running, falling, tripping up. What I can understand. Can you feel my presence? Can you feel it inside? Could it be between belief and what's decoupled from the truth? But it hurts, how do you find relief in an alternative view? Where do you want to? When there's nowhere left to hide. Can you feel my presence? Can you feel it inside? Could it be between the truth and lie? What does it do for you?
The once goal-driven, ambitious Sapphire turns to the street life after the sudden death of her big brother Dre. Dre's best friend Devontae tries to honor his homeboy's last request of looking out for his baby sister. A rebellious Sapphire makes it very difficult for Devontae to carry out his promise.